So, last time on the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, you made your way to Bavlorna's Bright Straw's cottage in the middle of Downfall, the Bullywug colony. This is where the hag lives. You were able to sneak into her living quarters, where she was having tea with a Darkling elder named Charm.
I feel like saying sneaking in is a bit of a generosity.
Yeah, I mean, you
thing.
stuck in, but then you immediately unshrunk from a tiny size.
We snuck in and nobody cared that we were there in the first place.
Yeah. But she did not seem surprised you were there, since one of her servants, known as Lornlings, spotted you on the lower floor. But before she would even talk to you about why you were there, she wanted you to do three chores for her. One of them was to unclog her bathing pool on the lower level. Turned out there was a gelatinous cube stuck in the well. The second was to deliver to her a crate of animal skins so she can use it in her taxidermy. And 3 was to find her book called Bavlorna's Big Book of Bad Blood, where she writes down all her enemies in, which you do have. I don't think you turned it over to her at the time. Instead of going to fetch the skins right away, you decided to explore more of the cottage. You went up to the kitchen, found a redcap cook preparing meat, and a satyr, which I forget the name of at the moment, who was captured in an iron cage. He was captured by Adgon Longscarf and brought over to Bavlorna. But you free him, he immediately went to the booze, and you explored a little bit more. You found a living area, or a dining area, very filthy, and a place where Bavlorna creates her own hooch. It was around that time that Aster noticed that the chalice he got from the Bullywug King's court had a message inside, written on a little note, that said, "Find Illig, the Baron of Mugstup, at once. The revolution lives." Apparently the Bullywug's monarchy is in danger once again. So
and I should note that we are the worst persons to give that throw, because it took us several hours to look in the... I guess not several hours. It took us as players 2 sessions before we looked in the empty the empty wineskin.
Right. So you kind of left off in the dining area and the hooch distillery. Not quite sure what your plan was from there, but you're now free to move around.
Yes, plan.
Yeah. Let me get into the character. Okay. There we go.
Just getting character. Okay, yeah.
I'm nervous.
Acting! Oh, okay. Well, those little things are kind of creepy.
Yeah, he had a small conversation with the Witchlings that was hiding in a like a moose head or
yes,
a goblin,
yeah.
A goblin head on the wall.
And I do want to say, I love, Joey, when you play characters that are just like, they don't care what the response is and are just chaotic what discussion is.
Yep.
You do that every so often, and I realize how much I love it. So kudos to that. Okay. Did I don't remember if I tried the hooch at the very end. I think I did.
Yeah, I think you did. It was, I think I said it was made of mushroom.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't see a Constitution save, so I must have been okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well...
I know Aster and Vanzel, were drinking it down.
Oh, yeah,
They were enjoying themselves.
Vanzel, we should probably find you some pants.
It's like, I don't worry, it's all fuzzy down there, I can't see a thing.
I mean...
It's just like Aster
yes.
there. You don't worry that he's not wearing pants.
I mean, he's got a very long shirt on.
I guess I am just wearing rags.
I mean, you were. How long were you out there for?
Lose all track of time. All alone.
Well,
Captured. And knocked up my
Isn't-
skins.
Isn't this whole place? It doesn't really have like a sunset and sunrise. It just
That's
keeps.
I guess you
Just
get
stays fun.
used to that after a while, but I guess I was
Yeah.
in there for a few days.
Wow. Wait, the skins are yours? You had animal skins?
He like points to his arm and his chest. Yeah, the skins.
Oh, okay, those skins.
Yeah.
We also gotta go
Literally
find some
skin.
skins that might be in town. There's Miss.
yeah.
Just a
I
little
know
bit.
we were still looking through the couple of places that we haven't been, and there is still one more room that I'm aware of that we haven't been in.
Well, if the one thing I know about Bevlorna is you don't want to keep her waiting. And I know I'm getting a little stir crazy being in here, but I will explore the house as much as you need.
You don't have to stay with us. You're free. I mean, I'm perfectly happy to have your company. I'm just making a point that you're not stuck here anymore.
I have had company in days. I'm enjoying your company.
Fair enough. Do you like horseshoes?
Nay. You get that
Okay.
it's a little
I squinted him.
I'm sorry, did I insult you? I need Aster here so I can get my accent down.
Yeah.
When I hear Jess talk.
Sorry. What was that? Did I come back to you talking about me?
Yeah, I was saying hearing your voice gets me in the zone for doing Vansel.
I imagine Aster
Oh.
right now is just downing one of the things of like one of the casks of the mushroom ale or whatever it is, the
Yeah.
moonshine, and just whenever somebody refers to him, he just puts up the one finger and just be like, just wait, and it's just continuing to drink.
It's funny you say that actually, because I also ran upstairs to get a shot of rum for my mom so I could have a rum and coke. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
You said it, and I was like, "Ooh, that sounds real good right about now."
Okay, Mom, you occupied for the next 3 hours. Here's your bedtime drink.
Yes, yes. Oh Jesus! All right,
Yeah.
all right. What have I missed?
Not much.
well-
We're just kind of going over where we left off.
We've
Oh,
got
Aster,
one
you've
more. Go ahead.
Aster, you've been here the whole time. What do you mean? What do you missed?
I've been very preoccupied with this drink. I
Add
don't
drink-
even know
add
what day
drink
it
to
is
that.
anymore. I don't even know
Chop,
what
chop,
day it is.
everyone! We gotta get looking for these skins. Turns out I was on push to talk this whole time, and I've been talking to you once in a while.
You do know
Hate
that the
that.
skins are not in the cottage because she was having them
Yep.
delivered.
Yes, we have to go to town. We have to go there, get the skins, bring it back, and just get out of this place with the unsightly little them, the little gremlins things. They make me very uncomfortable how much they don't care about their appearance.
Did we ever find the skull?
No.
I believe we think it's in that locked cabinet that we couldn't figure out how to open.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think there was.
nope.
Was it?
No, he. Well, I think the cook said it was in her bedroom. Maybe.
Oh.
And
That
there's
could be the
one
one room
room we
that we-
haven't checked yet, Kal'zi.
Well, maybe that's the route. How about this? We'll go get the skins, and on the way back, we'll then go into the room.
Wait,
That way, everybody wins.
and we can run the heck out of here if anything goes wrong.
Yes.
This is true. Yes.
So we shouldn't just kill her?
I don't
mean-
think right now is the time for that, Aster.
Okay. Oh, I just legitimate question.
Yeah, okay.
As much as I'd like to, one that I don't know if we're strong enough to do so.
Sorry.
And there's a darkling there as well.
I'm more scared of the darkling than I am the hag.
Kind of, yeah.
She was quite creepy.
That's
Did,
Mostly
the
just
way
how
looked at
she
you.
smiles.
Oh,
Well,
there's
let's-
raisins in this? What the fuck? Sorry.
There's raisins in your rum?
Oh, what the fuck?
What? You've
No.
never heard of rum raisins?
No, I also stole a muffin from my mom's house because she lives right upstairs. So I was like,
What?
oh, I'll just get a shot of rum and a muffin because she had them on top of her fridge. But there's fucking raisins in these.
What? There's
Disgusting.
fruit in my dessert cakes?
It's
Ew.
disgusting.
All
Well,
right. I'm gonna start
Go ahead.
sneaking out. Well, I guess I don't have to sneak anymore. But
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna,
can
I'm gonna leave.
just.
You
We
could
can
keep
walk
sneaking to keep practice.
Oh.
So are you going to be exploring the cabin some more?
We're gonna head out. I think,
Head-
and we'll explore the last room when we come
So we
back.
drop off our stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put you back.
Well-
in-
Ransel, it's been a real thrill. Very glad I got to meet you, complete with no pants.
yeah. So when you, well, which
Witchlight.
do you want to go back to the docks, kind of make your way around the big circle again, or do you want to try to land somewhere else?
I mean, did we take a? I think we took a boat over here, so we didn't have to
Yeah,
Yeah.
like climb across the thing. So we should be okay.
I'm saying that you could find other docks if you explore more of the
Right.
Oh,
'cause
the area.
Obviously, this is a bigger area than what we've explored. Much bigger, which is surprising.
I guess from this point, can I like roll perception to see if I can see anything in the distance to try looking?
Sure. It is very foggy, but it might be able to make
Okay.
out something.
There's a slight shape over there.
Yeah.
I guess we could just go back to the docks then.
Yeah, Karen, you can't see through the fog very well. See if there's anything to the east of you.
Well, I mean, we can just go back to the docks we came from, as Pimner said, and then just continue on. You okay there, Aster?
So I had
Had a lot of wine there.
Yeah, a lot of that hooch. I'm fine.
We'll bring Vansel over here.
I kind of I tend not to drink that much. Not that I don't enjoy it. It's that when you're on the a ship, you generally get people singing at you as like, "Oh, what do you do with a drunken sailor?" And I'm just heard it so many times, and I'm just tired of it.
99
Wait.
bottles of beer on the wall.
What do you do?
Well, if I recall,
I
The
could think
song
of lots
goes-
of things.
yeah, the captain will beat you limb from limb if they catch you. Although you could roll around with the captain's daughter. It's been a while since I've heard the full song.
You put him in the longboat till he's sober.
Yes, that's it. Thank you, Joey.
What about Wellerman?
I ordered something from them, and I've just been waiting for them to show up with their tea and rum.
The name of the ship was.
Okay, so he's gonna head back to docks and
I
go
think
all
we're
the way
gonna-
over
yeah.
from
Yeah.
the bullywug. Okay, so
We're gonna stick with familiar ground.
yeah, so you row back over here where they were repairing the hot air balloon. It's looking much more in a much better state now. And Vansel, it's like well, I wouldn't call this dry land, but I'm glad it's land. And he bends over and gives the swampy mush a little kiss. It's like, oh, that's disgusting.
I'll kind
I
of
almost threw up just looking at it happen.
I'll step back with Greg. As I recall, he is afraid of frogs for whatever reason, and I will sort of just be his protector for nothing else.
I'll discard the boat. Don't want somebody stealing it.
You don't want to stay here because, and I'm sorry to say this, but the frogs might want the rope back, the boat back. And what are you going to do all by yourself when a bunch of frogs come on the dock?
Good point.
Yes. I felt so dirty saying that.
Vansel does go. It's like,
I'm
Well-
gonna forget out of character that that we brought the boat. It's not actually theirs.
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, it's like a skip, yeah. So Vansel goes like, well, think this is where we part ways. Frankly, had enough of this place. But forever in your debt. And oh my goodness, I nearly forgot. Rules of reciprocity. What's that word again?
Reciprocity.
Reciprocity. See,
Yes.
No one can actually say it.
You are reciprocating
Yeah.
the thing.
It's like I'm still a believer in the rules here, and he kind of starts to look around, and he finds this stick laying on the ground. And he's like, "Oh, this will do nicely," and he picks up the stick, kind of brings it close to his face, and you hear him whisper something, and he outreaches his hand with the stick, and you see a little pink flower has grown on it.
Oh.
And he says, "This is for freeing me. You have my thanks." And he hands one of you the stick. Which one does he hand to you? I mean, which one will take it?
Who takes it?
I think you would probably hand it to Aster.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because they only care about people of their own type.
It's like,
No,
oh,
because they
racist.
bonded over getting like absolutely smashed together.
That
And they're-
too.
They're both not
No.
wearing pants.
Exactly.
as you pick up the stick, you feel that it is actually magical,
Oh.
and he kind of gives you a little wink.
I take
And
it back.
since it doesn't require too many, pretty much immediately can tell what it is. This acts the same as a stone of good luck.
Ooh.
And he says, it might give you some luck, but it won't last forever, I'm afraid. So this will last for 24 hours.
Nice.
So if you want to add that item and then make a note saying 24 hours.
Yeah.
Well, coincidentally, we are going to imprison Vansel after 24 hours, so it's a fair trade.
Mm,
None of us even know it yet.
cool.
He will take it. Oh, he will just prance away. Distraction.
If I may, before you leave, if we were to ever to have to look for you, where do you hail from in the Feywild?
Well, none of us can leave hither. Maybe you'll find me at the inn. I like hanging out there.
At the inn?
At the inn. At the Wandering Inn.
The Wandering Inn. Oh, we've been there. That was a nice place. I had to clean up the place last time I was there.
And you did a very good job.
Well, thank you, Gray. I am glad somebody appreciates the fact that I had turned down service and I left complimentary chocolate on your pillow.
What?
Where did you get the chocolate from?
I don't have to explain myself.
I appreciate everything you do.
Right. So you.
Well, that's why I gave you a chocolate, Aster.
When did you give me chocolate?
I-
Am I like that wasted all the time?
I was assuming that's what you were eating right now.
So you.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah. I've been eating this whole time. So you hop across the pebbles, avoiding the Dalibdur that was sleeping in the mud. Go past the burnt down balloon repair shop. You see the bullywug kind of cleaning up. Gives you a little wave.
Can I ask if there's any more landmass to the northeast of the
There
the
is.
northwest
There's
the northwest
not.
of it?
Yes, Sequoia.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
There's actually a really cool map on this. Let me see if I can reveal areas you've been to.
A little more. Well, I guess we can see that in the distance.
A
Yeah.
whole bunch of infinity.
You see an identical town but on its side. in the fog. So you made it across.
Oh, is that that's the side version of what what we've been on?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
cool.
that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
That's a
Yeah,
cool
we do
design.
that when we go to New Game Plus.
Can't see that part. There we go.
We pass by the Clapper Claw, and we go. We haven't found your face yet.
Well, if I had a mouth, I would frown. But I'm in no hurry.
He is so strong, sad.
I'm sad that I'm on a bridge.
Make your way up to the Bullywug Court.
Ask
King
along
Gollop
the way
did ask you,
as-
it's like, did you return my book?
Yep, and they were never the wiser. Wink. I actually say wink.
We almost died doing it though.
He doesn't even need a check for that. He's like, oh, thank goodness.
Thank goodness that we
Yeah.
almost died. What?
We were attacked by a horrible cone-like monster.
It's like, very good, very good. Very good, very good.
Do you know if there's like a box of skins somewhere?
Animal skins, I want to make that perfectly clear.
Why would King Gollop the 19th need with boxes of skins?
Could have been your skin in one of those boxes. Have we not returned your book?
It's
Oh,
true, yes.
you're right. Well, the residential area is in the south of Downfall. Any hunters would probably live there. That's you might find it there.
Does it circle back around, or do we have to go back the way we came?
One big circle. You may require a little swim or boat ride to get to the southern area.
Gray, are you going
Of
to be all
course,
right
to
with
the
that?
east of me here is the palace.
Oh yes, I can sort of make it out through the fog.
And so unusual visitors, one who I obtained, he kind of like gets close to one of you, obtained the book from, has a quite peculiar, balloon. Some trader set up shop there. Two, he whispers, 2 darklings. Yes.
Does one of them have a really wicked smile?
My dear, have you ever seen a darkling? They all do.
I'd
And
like
a
to
big
imagine
hat?
that. Go ahead.
And a big hat?
I believe they were wearing caps. There were only 2 of them when I was there, 2 merchants.
Well, I guess that's the third darkling then.
At this point, the little alligator runs up with a pine cone. His little pet alligator. He's like, oh, you want to play? You want to play? And he takes the pine cone. He throws it off in the distance. The alligator goes scampering off. Oh, if you do excuse me, it's time for my dear's exercise. Oh, oh.
Oh, I can't even get angry at that. That's adorable.
I forget the alligator's name. Now remember, you are honorary envoys of the Soggy Court, so I expect you to be on your best behavior.
I mean, as envoys of the court, would anybody expect us? Would anybody even bother calling out that we were unbecoming of the court, as we are obviously semi-royalty at this point?
Well, as long as you obey the rules, I doubt you run into any trouble.
Never. Well, I believe we should continue, as my friend Gray here is obviously probably very sick with a fever, as I assume Gray is sweating, having to talk to all these frogs.
They're very, very tightly gripping your arm.
Yes.
All right, so you will
No,
continue.
let's just continue. I will protect Gray as we go around.
Luckily, they're wearing gloves and no nails.
Yeah.
As they walk by, Aster looks at Pim and he's like, "Oh, to be in his shoes."
Why don't you just hold his arm? I don't think he'd mind.
No. You need a
I
good
just saw
reason. I can't
Ray
just do it.
zoom across the screen. It was good.
New.
D8. That's the area, not the dice.
Yeah.
Right, so kind of show the individual areas here. To the south, you do see the palace. To the east, northeast, you do see a small building. Can't quite tell what it is yet. And that's the most noticeable things that you see. But in the distance, in the distance, through the fog, you do see what seems to be lightning and thunder. Like, almost like there's a isolated storm. In this one select area of the fog, a few hundred feet in front of you.
Do you all think this palace is haunted?
What are you talking about?
It's
I
in
mean, look at.
it's in like this area over here.
So it's not quite the palace, but it's nearby.
This is the palace. I don't know if you can see what the
No, I see
It's
this
the
in the
big
outline,
gator.
so it's fine. You think they usually keep alligators in a moat outside of a palace? I don't think they quite understand that.
I don't think they usually keep alligators. Like,
I mean, it could be a crocodile. You are correct.
what's the nose like on this?
Yeah, since
wide?
pretty close to the palace, I'll read that part. This ramshackle hall is built around a big tree. Two of the tree's limbs reach out through the walls like enormous welcoming arms. The interior... Oh, you don't know about the interior yet. But you do see two bullywugs and a crocodile guarding the entrance.
An actual crocodile or bipedal one?
An actual crocodile.
Gray, how are you with crocodiles? Is it just bullywugs? Is it frogs in general?
Just frogs.
Just frogs.
I've never actually seen an alligator before, but they are somehow not as scary as them.
Well, your phobia is not my phobia, but your phobia is okay.
Strange thing is, I'm not even sure why I'm scared of them.
No bad experience when you were younger?
Not as far back as I can remember.
Do you have a limitation on your memory? You're just talking about when you were like a baby.
I only have. I can only remember so far back. I'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough. I won't pry. Aster, how far back can you remember?
Pretty far. Why?
Comparisons.
I mean, like, I don't remember like being here ever in the Feywild. I was put on the doorstep of the carnival, still wrapped in a blanket. Probably.
Do you still have your blanket?
Yeah. What do you think I
Specialty
made
is?
this tunic out of?
I would imagine baby's blanket is quite small and probably.
Aster is Superman.
I'm not very large, you know.
We'll just put a pin in that.
He winks at him.
Yes. Anyway, where should we head to next? The ominous, scary, storm-laden, lighthouse-looking structure over there, or the palace that has an alligator? Crocodile.
Gray looks at the two guards. I vote lighthouse.
So just to clarify, there's a building here, but
yes,
but the storm seems to be beyond it.
Okay, like far beyond it, or
not that far. Just behind it.
Okay. And when I obviously when I say lighthouse, I don't think it's an actual lighthouse. It might be, but I'm just sort of saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Lightning house.
That works. Let's head that way then.
Right.
I don't think the palace is going to have a shipment of skins unless they got it by accident.
Now, just because you said it, it's going to have it.
I mean, that would be good because then we could get our thing. Okay, there's a thing over there in the corner.
It's okay.
I don't think we're supposed to see that.
Yeah, I had review on. It's okay though.
Yeah.
I was going to show you anyway.
Amnesia dust.
Yep.
Let's get punched in the face. Forget everything.
Did anybody see that? No? Okay.
So in front of you, you do see a building with what appears to be holding cells. But beyond it, you do see the source. Like, you literally see a thundercloud being contained in, like, almost a hot air balloon at the end of a dock.
Is that how those work? I always thought it was the heat of the fire.
Well, I guess that makes sense too. Heat of the fire, or a whole thunderstorm would probably work too.
It is the Feywild, so I wouldn't be surprised.
We'll read the holding cells is right there.
Yeah.
Rising from the soggy earth is a sturdy wooden hut with an open doorway on one side of it. At the back of the hut are two holding cells. Thick mangrove roots serve as bars, with a small round door closing off each cell. The floor of one cell is covered with several inches of stinking water. The other cell holds a figure in rags slumped up against the back wall.
Oh, hello?
Who's there?
Me? I'm Kal'zi.
You're me, Kal'zi.
No, but you can call me whatever you want.
That's not really an appropriate song. How about...
Rat battle. Rat battle works in every situation.
Even in non-combat.
I was thinking Glenn's theme from Chrono Trigger myself.
That works. Dun, 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 dun.
So, this figure kind of stands up, undoes the rags a little bit. It is a bullywug in kind of a disheveled state. And he goes, well, Kal'zi, pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Morgort.
Hello, Morgort. What are you in for?
Oh, nothing much. Just treason, they say.
Oh. Would they saying that be true, or are you innocent?
Well, suppose. Me and my friend, Woolywug, rescued a fairy dragon from the cottage. And they escaped on a hot air balloon, and I helped them.
I lean in, or get a little closer, and lean in and is like, I have it on good authority that the fairy dragon made it to safety.
You met with my dear Woolywug and Sir Talvar?
Briefly.
Her eyes kind of
we
like...
did.
She's kind of like in a much better mood upon hearing this.
Your efforts were at least partially successful. I am very sorry to report that the other bullywog did not make it, but Sir Talavar has been freed and has made its way. What's that?
Wigglewog is dead?
I am very sorry to tell you this, but yes.
Well,
but his efforts were not in vain, nor were yours. Sir Talavar is free.
We've been friends since we were tadpoles.
I now wish I had modify memory.
Well, we knew the risk. It's just that hag, ever since she's taken over, everything's just gone wrong here in Prismere.
Yes.
Things were better with Zilblina. There was no need for all this violence, and she just slumps back down. Well, at least he did what we planned to do, and the envoy of the Summer Court is safe, and maybe the Summer Queen can help us in some way.
I'm going to take out the two keys that I have, the iron key and the silver key, and see if they work in the lock.
Okay. They do not. Well, I wouldn't waste your time. Or maybe, that one back there, she kind of points to Karen. She seems kind of strong. Maybe she could. She makes little attacking motions with one of her hands. It's
As soon as she hears the word Karen come out, she's like, "What? I heard something. I heard something about me."
I want you to understand that I was acting in a most honorable way. That fairy dragon had no right to be chained up, and King Gulp the 19th, he's kind of an idiot.
What does this have to do with me? Why did you bring up my name?
Oh. Well,
we want you to break him out.
Either you can the bars, or you can click the lock.
Pimner's already at the door trying the lock.
Okay. Give me
when did you get here?
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
Say no more. Give me a lockpicking check. With the thieves' tools.
Yeah, thanks for the new button.
Yep. Was that me or Mark? I forget. It's probably Mark.
I'll thank everyone.
I don't know if Mark can edit.
No problem.
Yeah.
I will be happy to take full credit.
All right, with the 16, you fill around with the lock, which is very rusty since it's been exposed to the salty air for so long. But it managed to click open, and Morgort stands up, stretches her froggy legs, and steps out. Oh, I'm forever in your debt. I'm afraid, I have nothing to offer you. Perhaps I'll, do you know where the balloon was found? Maybe I can go back to my friend, give him some proper goodbyes.
Well, it crashed into a tower that was guarded by... I forget what the creatures were, Joey.
There were snakes.
Snakes.
Constrictor snakes.
Giant constrictor snakes.
Enormous.
Give that warning.
that shouldn't be a problem for me, even though my title was revoked. I'm still in my heart the Knight of Warts.
Oh.
Although I will hang around in the waters here, in case you need me.
We
That'd be
appreciate
very
that.
helpful. Maybe you shouldn't leave the same time we do, just so we don't get caught.
Oh yes, the guards at the palace. With how foggy it is, I bet we can make an escape easily. I'll just make a quick run for the swamp to the north of here.
Okay, just felt like it'd be very obvious that we definitely let you out if we all leave at the same time.
She kind of like,
I will give her guidance, so she has guidance on her stealth check.
she kind of like starts lamenting again. She says, it's basically just chance that Bullywog was to pilot the balloon. Either of us could have done it. We just basically flipped a gold coin, or a copper coin, and Bullywog ended up winning.
It's not your fault. I also give them directions to wherever we heard that Sir Talavar was headed.
Yeah, it was
in case they want a reunion after that.
Yeah, the balloon was to the slanty tower to kind of south of Hitler.
Yeah, and I forget where he was headed to afterwards. So
he was probably trying to escape,
Yes.
back to the Summer Court in the other realm.
Yes.
Say, well, I shall head there, but in case you're in need of my services, I will remain here for the time being.
Well, what else can you do? What are you very very good at?
Well, if you ever need a balloon piloted, I suppose I can be of some help.
We will keep that in mind. Do you know how to pilot that electrical balloon just behind here?
Saying, what electrical balloon? Is that what's been making that noise? She kinda
Yeah,
pops
it's
out.
like a big balloon with like lightning. Whoa, hey, be careful! Be careful!
Don't worry. She kind of looks saying, well, whatever that is not from hither.
I think it's from
So
Thither.
maybe it's a way out of hither.
Well, and you kind of look, you do see some figures at the base saying, well, it looks like it's guarded. But the balloon's near the workshop. If you need a pilot, I might be able to assist you.
We'll keep you in mind if you're going to be stealthily around. We will call out. We'll say a code word. Sticklefritz. We'll say.
I will not remember that word.
Oh well, how about equipoise?
What?
Okay, Sticklefritz it is. Sticklefritz. I'll remember.
Well, I thought it was going to be hard to understand, but that makes perfect sense to me. Nice Snicklefritz it is. And she gives a bow. Thank you. She hops into the water. Oh, she does say, someone had to make the distraction. So I kind of set fire to the balloon workshop. And that's when they caught me. So.
Oh, that fire was still happening when we got here.
Oh, that's horrible.
What's more horrible is how long it took us to put it out.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's put out now, though.
For some reason, the daggers worked better than the buckets of water. I don't get it.
Yep. And then she hops off to the bog there.
I kind of go up with Gray and I'll be like, you probably heard that. If and in case we need to get into a balloon with a frog person, will you be okay?
I'll just hang over the side.
Well, I'll make sure you don't drop.
Clapperclaw did seem convinced that he could probably pilot the balloon himself, but
It's like we have multiple options for piloting said balloon.
The Paragon and Renegade paths.
Well, in either case, where should we head to next? The palace, I don't think, is going to have the an order of skins.
There's
We
a
were told that-
residential area, right?
Yes. That means we have to walk by all of the frogs and the stone person in the stone bridge again.
What's one more time?
Didn't they say the residence was south of here?
Yes, but I don't know if it looped around. But perhaps we could.
The king said it did.
That's okay. Well, let's take a look. I'll kind of take a wide berth around the palace and just see if I can see south.
you do see
No guards around here. It seems like an open courtyard.
well, you do see some guards on a dock.
Okay, I will go back and report what I find.
And
Yeah,
kind of pass by this area where the thunder balloon is, and you see I'll read that place here. A big black balloon floats over the lake, tugging at its moorings. Beneath it hangs a basket made of black wicker and wood, which serves as a merchant's stall. A large pane of gray glass is closed across the opening above the counter. A sign mounted above the window reads, "Wondrous wares and fair fares." The balloon is not made of fabric, but rather appears to be a rolling, dark rain cloud that has been contained somehow with lines and netting.
A shop. I haven't seen a shop in a while, and I just kind of like am drawn to it.
Okay.
Whoa! Oh, that's actually really cool art.
Yep. I almost used it for the thumbnail, but it didn't quite match the overall tone.
Oh, so it's not even inside the balloon; it's literally the storm itself.
Yeah.
Is the balloon? Oh, that's awesome.
Right. So you do see two darklings. They are similar to Charm that you saw in the cottage, but much smaller. And these ones appear to be male. And one seems to be kind of dozing off, and one of them goes, "Hey, Bobble, looks like we got customers." And he kind of nudges the other one. It's like, not more frogs. And it's like, no, these ones definitely aren't frogs. Well, hello, good sir.
Hi.
I think we found the two shadow people.
Yes.
Can I offer you in some goods?
What kind of goods do you have?
Points to a sign next to it, which says, "Available for a limited time only. A very good thimble, fingertip not included. A mug of bumblebeer, has a nice sting to it. A dark mallow pie with decorative bite marks. A bundle of dry wood, great for starting fires. Ink portraits. If we have to look at you, so should you. And moonlight monocle. No more fumbling in the dark."
Oh, what is this moonlight?
Saying, right to the good stuff, huh?
I do enjoy curved glass. Yes.
Kind of reaches behind the counter, takes out a monocle, saying, "Put this baby on. Darkness will no longer be a problem for you, sir."
I mean, to be fair, it's not really a problem at the moment.
You never know when you find yourself in one of the dark places of the Feywild.
Does it get through magical darkness?
They kind of whisper to each other, like, "Oh, it goes through magical darkness?" Like, I don't know, what magical darkness? Like, the thing we can, do once a day. It's like, oh, yeah. He goes, no, just normal darkness.
Oh, okay.
It is essentially a goggles of night.
Right. Which would increase my dark vision by 60 feet.
Well, half a goggles of night.
Yeah.
Half a goggles of night.
You have to close one eye in order to get the full effect.
Lose depth perception.
Exactly.
So what'll it be? Interesting?
I'm okay with that. I actually turned to our human friend, Karen. No, Karen, are you an elf or are you a human?
I am absolutely not a human.
Look at her ears.
Yeah, maybe she's.
I'm a high elf. I'm the same height as you.
This is true. I'm technically not an
How
elf.
dare you think so? You're looking me in the eyes, calling me a human. Do you think a human could look like this, could act like this, could be like this? Are you sure?
I've heard of many a human that could
Disgusted,
kind of do like
Kal'zi.
that. No, I'm sorry, Karen. I did not mean to offend.
The others are just like
Then,
Trinket and Bobble are just kind of like watching in amusement, saying, "Yeah, he thought she wasn't a human."
yeah, see, they see it. I don't see why you don't see it. I'm pretty sure this has come up before.
I have
Not even
I
as
have,
your
I have longer
look,
ears than
didn't
you.
listen, didn't remember.
I still wish I had modified memory.
All of you can speak Sylvan except for me.
I thought she was just a polyglot.
What?
That's it.
A polyglot.
Just gonna be over here for a bit. You think about what you've done. I'll just be over here.
Kal'zi continues to think about what he's done, like someone who has just suddenly remembered that dumb thing they said in the 10th grade that made them really embarrassed.
Kal'zi, are you feeling okay? Your face is very red right now.
I think I'll be okay. Thank you, Pimner.
There's a pat on the lower back because I can't give you a pat on the back.
That's okay. Careful. Don't get too low there. Okay,
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
That wasn't my intention.
Hello?
But,
Making a deal or not?
Oh, hi. No, it turns out that all of us, I believe, can see in the dark.
definitely not him, though.
Oh, Pim. I thought you were an elf.
I'm literally.
Karen just just loves like a big thing of like.
Kal'zi, I'm literally always on your back because I'm not tall enough to do most things. I don't know if there is a type of elf like that. Maybe in the Feywild there is. I am very much a halfling. And the hint is I'm half your size.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, to be fair, I kind of am half the size that I was before, so you're kind of like a quarterling to me. Oh dear, I'm not being insensitive, am I?
I guess it's just I don't know how you could possibly look 3 feet down at something and look and ask if they're an elf.
I mean,
Maybe he has depth perception.
Maybe you do need that monocle after all.
well, I mean, it's kind of bright out, and oh dear.
How much is the monocle?
Oh, we don't deal in gold here. We deal in trades.
I say it's got to be worth something. So how much is it?
One of the Darklings, Trinket, says, well, I'll let you have it for the colors of your eyes.
Do you mean the ability to see with the color, or just the color of the pupils of one's eyes?
Oh, just the beautiful colors of your eyes.
Okay, this isn't gonna hurt or permanently blind me, is it?
Oh no, be able to see perfectly.
Oh, okay.
It's just,
I just won't have any color in my eyes anymore.
Just have white eyes.
Oh, you're not turning into like black. You're just removing it altogether.
All the color.
I mean, I've seen many tiefling that don't have any pupils. I think you'll be okay, Pimner, if you're worried.
If that distresses you too much, and the other one, Bobble, speaks up. I will offer to trade it for, let's say, your rhythm. The rhythm in your step.
These all sound like terrible deals.
Which ones?
I mean, for who?
Everybody.
I think I would like the monocle for the colors of my eyes.
He kind of says, they're actually doing it. Oh, jeez, I can't believe it. Oh, well.
I was just making a joke, but now we got kind of stuck with that. Oh my god.
Well then, step forward then.
Before she does, Gray puts a hand on her shoulder. Allow me.
Okay.
Your eyes are far too pretty to be grayed out.
Aww, that's sweet.
Oh.
Good use
What
of
a
gray
lovely-
there.
What a lovely compliment.
Also, this makes it easier that we don't have to update the character art.
Yeah.
Alright, so he takes out a white marble. And he they whisper the phrase, "You be mine." And she
Oof.
puts it up to Gray's face. And nothing happens. Like the marble doesn't seem to change color at all. And she goes, "You be mine." It's like, Trinket, is this working? It's like, should be working. And Bobble says, show me your eyes.
Making sure that everybody else is behind them. Tips the hat up.
Bobble kind of leans forward. And he goes, huh. Look at the marble. I guess it did work. Well, deal's a deal. What do I care? And they hand you the monocle.
We needed the color of eyes to buy food for children.
Right.
Lowers the hat. Thank you for doing business.
For that, whoever is doing this can add a goggle of night to your inventory.
And hands it over to Cal.
As a mama monocle. No, that was for Pimner.
Oh,
Sorry.
I handed to Pimner. No, I handed to Karen because she's between me and Pimner. Karen, can you give this
What?
to Pimner?
No, don't. Just don't.
Oh, you've pissed her off.
Yep, that's putting it lightly.
Do you think she would be able to wear a monocle with her eyes bulging like that?
Yeah, Gray has an excellent point, as much as sarcasticness it is.
I mean, I was just...
I am sure it was an honest mistake. You
Pim
can never be
event-
too sure.
Pim eventually gets the monocle and puts it in.
There you go, Pim.
Just bickering, yeah.
I'm saying, well, need anything else?
Wouldn't have any potions of healing, would you?
Points to the sign. This is what we got. I can give you a bumble beer. If you want
Is the
something to
bumblebee
drink.
made from real bumblebees?
He just kind of smiles. It's like, what do you think?
I think no, and that would basically increase your profits through shady business practices.
Saying, all it'll cost you
Oh, okay, I see
is
how it is.
a spring in your step.
Oh, I've had that kind of conversation before. I will pass. Thank you. Bye. And I turn around and just like walk away. They've insulted me more than I've insulted Karen.
Good luck
Doubt
with your
it.
business, kind sirs.
Thank you.
You turn. I think we've been swindled. Like, what does it matter?
Gray's just grinning.
Right.
Not that anyone can tell. Well, I guess you can see your mouth.
Yeah, you can see the mouth.
Yeah. Ah, the nerve of those guys taking more of my... Like, I haven't lost enough with my feet. Ah.
Well,
If it's any consolation, I still
It's-
think you look great no matter what.
I mean, thank you, but I'm not insulted by... I don't think they called me ugly. They just wanted to take more of my legs.
I don't think they wanted to take your legs necessarily. But
Metaphorically
didn't-
speaking, yes.
I didn't mean like that. I just, your legs don't make you who you are. They're not a personality trait.
I am more than my leg.
You are more than your legs.
I am, but also having
four of
four
them.
legs... Yeah. I am half the man I used to be.
I still think you're wonderful.
Looking in the
For
chat,
what
Gray
it's worth.
saying. Looking in the chat, Gray saying we also accept crypto. You want to buy some NFTs?
It'll be
So,
worth something tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like the ugly ape, but it's of the hags, where like smoking cigarettes and being like neon and all that stuff.
No.
All right, where to next?
Thank you, Aster.
I'm just saying.
Should we all just circle back around to the oh, I'm so mad.
What can... Wait. Before we go anywhere, why don't we take a second to just relax? 2.5 of you are like all pumped up and angry. I
What do you
lost
call
the
it?
accent
Am I the
back.
half? Is that what you're saying? Am I the half, Aster?
No, I was talking about Pim because she's short. No offense, Pim. I love you.
no, it's
Oh,
okay.
she's the one who gets no offense. Sorry,
I
go ahead.
wanted
so-
to say anything offensive to you.
Me and Aster know each other. It's fine.
Yeah. You're not friends if you can't roast each other, right?
Okay, that's,
You should
I'm
hear the
sorry.
things she
I am
said
a
about
little.
me.
I'm a little annoyed at anger management.
Look, it's fine.
I'm
Don't-
sure if we all just count to 10, it'll go away.
Take a nice deep
One.
breath.
1.1, 1.2,
Oh, sweet.
1.3, 1.4. I just continue with that.
Right.
I will continue that as the player goes to the bathroom. I will be right back.
Okay, let's take a little break.
Okay.
Break sounds good.
What should we break?
Break stuff.
My legs.
A piece of that Kit Kat bar.
High five.
Break something tonight. Chainsaw. Gonna skin your raw. Banked.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Right, everyone back?
No.
Oh.
I'm worth
Everyone-
Still
blank.
got...
Everyone back mentally, physically?
Oh. Physically, yes.
Yeah,
Mentally.
back, yeah.
Spiritually.
I'm mentally backwards.
Same.
Alright, so coming back, you do see a dock to the south, the back end of the palace. There are some guards and another alligator on that end. Otherwise, you might have to go all the way back to your boat and then go to the dock on the opposite side of the swamp.
That's what we can do. Let's circle back around. Unless Gray, would you prefer to swim
I'll just
in the
keep
water?
I'll just keep my eyes closed.
Alright.
Well,
You go past the court, you go past the balloon factory that's being cleaned up, you go past the rocks, and then you go past the other balloon, and then you get to your boat.
Bye, Clapperclaw. Bye, Clapperclaw.
He's like, hi, bye. All right.
Fast travel, awesome.
So you're around here. Do you pass by what seems to be, you see like a watchtower. That you can probably, with some effort, dock here. But when you get further around, there are, seems to be a steep cliff area around these areas right here.
What are those ropes attached to, by the way?
Yeah, you've seen these in various places around Downfall. They seem to be heading towards the cottage. You probably noticed them when you were on the ground floor in the cottage, that they were tied to the balconies.
Assume they were, they're kind of like clotheslines.
Yeah, the clothesline. There's like dirty,
flags or whatever.
Yeah, there's like dirty garments on them.
Oh, does that mean we can see the hags on? Yeah, the hags under. Like she's got like some lingerie up there that's drying.
They're called unmentionables for a reason. Stop mentioning them.
Homemade lingerie.
Well, now I expect one of the twins to draw that as today's art.
Oh no, please.
Hag lingerie.
They also work as fast travel systems if you've got a rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle.
Yep.
This is very true.
When you get to around this area, you see a big tree, mostly dead tree, kind of coming through the fog. But again, you can't really land there. But then you get to dock. Right here.
All the way to the right side?
Yep.
Well.
Randomly, Pimner's just like over in the corner.
Right.
Trying to follow the action.
Pimner, why did you swim this whole way?
No, I'm the only one who actually walked all the way around to get to the boat. The rest of you just kind of like came from over there.
Right, so you do see the palace from across this little area of the swamp. So to your left, you see the big tree. And to the south, you see what appears to be toadstools. Very large toadstools.
I never knew that it's a princess. Well,
I bet she's a peach.
Collect myself and continue.
Are you both calm down now?
I honestly, a good boat ride is all I need to calm down. Yes.
Well, if you need, never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
What was that you were mumbling? What's that, Aster?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
He like kicks a rock into the water. He's like. This is a PG show, I think.
It's a strong PG-13 most times.
This was the. Do we see actual like buildings over here just outside of you? As we get a little closer.
Maybe if we get closer.
I check for traps.
But as you get closer to the toadstools, your heart suddenly feels cold, filling you with a sense of loneliness that borders on despair. Maybe that's what you were feeling, Aster. A haunting, melancholy tune played on a flute reaches out to you from somewhere within a field of oversized toadstools.
Let's go back.
We came all this way, though.
Tim's gonna keep going
okay.
forward and look for the person.
Okay.
Assumed person. Whatever's doing this.
Everybody always steps on Pimner.
It's just a flute stuck into a mushroom.
We'll put on that sad music again. Where is it?
The music from Fry's dog.
No!
A slender elf with pale blue skin and black hair sits curled in the shadow of a gray 6-foot tall toadstool, playing a somber tune on a double flute.
A double flute?
Why am I just picturing the Sailor Moon movie? I hope somebody knows what I'm talking about.
If anybody, it would probably be Bun.
Which one?
You know, in the Sailor Moon movie, there's like, there's like the brother and the sister, and they look like elves.
Oh, Al and Anne.
Yes, exactly. And then the brother is like in love with Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah,
Then
it's
he gives him the flower and he
it's
plays
a
the flute.
summarization. It's a summarization of season 3.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was gonna say, I'm like, this sounds a lot like season 3.
Yeah.
I was joking about Bun, but I am also not surprised.
Oh,
It's a good show.
It's so good. It's so good.
So I caught a couple episodes back in the 90s.
There's also like 5 Sailor Moon movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you approach this elf, there's like a chill in the air, and like you like see your breath is starting to get cold as you approach him.
Excuse me, could you stop that, please?
He stops playing the music, saying,
Do we feel any more positive?
"Oh, sorry."
No, it was a lovely tune. It's just, I think it's having negative effects beyond what you were expecting. I hope.
So
you don't eat.
When he stops playing, like the chill in the air remains. Saying, "Well, it's what I do to pass the time."
You alright?
You don't want to hear my sad sob story.
Oh, sure I do. I'm all ears. Tell me.
Okay. I mean,
Okay,
if you insist here.
I
But
kind of get behind.
whoa.
I get behind Aster and I just kind of like plant my head just above his.
You couldn't possibly understand the dark and tragic backstory.
Yeah.
Aster just like immediately freezes. He tenses. He's gripping his own knees like, oh, play it cool, bro. Go on, tell me your story. Go on, tell me your story.
He goes, well, name's Octavian.
Oh, it's a beautiful name.
Oh, is it?
I think
Says
so.
I can't really tell anymore. I guess I can't feel much of anything, I guess, if I think about it. Are you sure you want to hear? It might be boring.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Got nothing else to do.
Plays a little sad tune on his flute. Saying, well, years ago I lost my love. And was so heartbroken that I went to Bavlorna to if she can take away the pain. And she said, sure, and take away your heart, so you won't feel the love anymore.
She literally took your heart, didn't she?
And I couldn't bear to do so. And she did not like having her offer denied. So she took my heart and replaced it. with a goat's heart.
I mean, goats are kind of lovely creatures. I mean, when they yell, they kind of aren't. But I mean, the inside is what counts. Right, Aster? Just kind of like nudge him.
Of the goat?
I mean, it's in general.
And when she took the heart, it was frozen. Source of like endless cold. And I don't know where it is. She's probably keeping it as a trophy somewhere in her cottage.
I'm sorry to hear that, mate. That's probably the most depressing thing I've heard today.
Yeah, I told you wouldn't be happy or
No, it's
interesting.
no. Don't say it like that. It's just, sympathy pains.
Maybe you just need a more uplifting tune to kind of help you out.
Don't I have a pen flute or something?
Well, I do. Do you want to? I mean, I know how. I take out my pan flute.
Hold on. I think I actually have something. I know I got something. I got a lute. I have a lute. We could all sing a song, play a song together.
But Pimner's the rogue. They're supposed to loot.
If only I could, Gray. If only I could.
That was out of character.
Backhand, Gray.
That was so out of character. No.
It's canon. No.
Saying, well, I'm afraid no matter what I play or what music I listen to, I just can't feel much of anything anymore.
Well, we're kind of trying
There's no
some...
comparing us to them, Aster. Just
no, I'm not comparing. No, I'm not comparing anything. I'm just saying we can get your heart back for you. Hopefully.
You can?
Maybe. I'm not going to make any promises, but we can certainly try.
Yeah, I as soon as you said that first part, I kind of like side-eye everyone else and be like, "You can't fucking do that."
Don't make promises. Well, if you did, I will reward you, surely.
I mean, you don't have to.
It's it's the rules.
It's just like seeing you. I mean, I don't really know you that well, but like seeing you out here playing your sad little flute alone is making me want to fucking
kill yourself. Yeah.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, it's.
yeah. I mean, I get it. That's why all the bullywugs avoid this place.
Long walk off a short pier. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't literally do that though, please. God's above. Please don't do that. No, I just,
Well, if you find yourself in Bavlorden's cottage,
Oh, we have.
Oh, did you?
We have to go back, right, Bavlord? That's the one we've been.
Yeah, no, that's
what
the name.
I thought.
I keep mixing her up with pavlova, which is, as we've discussed
different.
before, is an Australian dessert.
Well, he is like, well, thanks. Thanks, I guess.
Of course, I'm sorry about your love. There's really nothing worse.
I literally guess I don't care anymore.
No, that's just it's just the situation you're in and the sort of negative effects that the Feywild kind of has. You will care again. You just don't care at this moment because of things outside your control.
Maybe if I get my heart back.
I mean,
Aster's gonna lean his head back up to Kal'zi and be like, I don't know, he might actually still be just as fucking sad as he is now.
I mean, the point is to try and make him feel better. It doesn't matter if it's true.
God, I love it when you whisper in my ear. Right, well,
I'm whispering in your nose.
Pimner pops up because she's underneath. So it's like a 3-stack. So
we are pretending to be 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Yeah, and then just looks up and says, "Maybe if you give him something that a goat likes, that'll make him happy."
What a goat's like.
Carrots, food. Are you hungry? Do you want anything in the meantime?
I'm fine with you know, these toadstools. They're
Are
fine.
you sure? I've got like
I mean, they're fine.
rash.
They're okay.
Oh.
They are neither good nor bad.
Oh, sweet.
This is the
Gods
neutral
above.
planet people from Futurama.
I hate this. All right. Well,
So I'm gonna just continue to play my flute. So if you hate it, then I guess you should probably leave.
no, we don't hate it. It's a lovely melancholy. It's very bittersweet. It makes me want to cry, you know.
Yeah.
We'll do our best.
I do appreciate that it keeps the frogs away.
It's a shame. I always liked frogs.
To each their own.
I imagine Gray is saying that through like clenched teeth.
To each their own, yeah.
Yes. I'm sure somebody should.
And as you leave Octavian to a sad, sad tale of woe.
Tragic backstory NPC.
Yeah, you do see a hut next to the toadstools.
So, does everyone live in just this one building? Must. I mean, it's the only one I see.
That's the only one you see.
Oh,
Can you imagine just living in one building? Everybody?
that wouldn't be so bad.
Isn't it like living on a ship?
No, I mean Yes.
Got you there.
I got nothing else. Yes.
Oh. Was that
That's one
was
for
that-
Pim.
was that Pim?
Yeah.
Give me inspiration.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
I mean, unless you're the captain, then you're in your own room.
It's like, huh. I thought he's like staring off in the distance. Never thought of that.
Just long pause, and then that only counts for houseboats.
Yeah. Even though I did show the inside, the door is closed.
Yes.
Octavian.
It's too far away at this point.
Oh,
I have 10, 15, 20 feet. It's pretty far away, yeah.
that's
I know.
really far away.
Oh, sorry.
Drowned out by the music.
Yeah, exactly. Playing some My Chemical Romance on his flute. When I was a young elf.
How could this happen to me?
Pim, should we, do you think we should knock?
Yeah, we can do that. Pim will give a knock,
Oh.
but her other hand is on her thieves' tool set.
Okay. You knock, but no answer.
Just check to see if it's open first.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be a
Okay.
communal sort of like hostile type thing.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just try and push open it.
Wait, check for traps. Too late.
And Pim accidentally locks the door.
Just really wanted to use my thieves' tools, all right?
She's itching to steal some shit.
She hasn't stolen things in at least an hour. She bought something.
Ah, jeez. So does the door open on its own, or is it locked?
Well, not on its own, but it opens when you open it.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, when I open it.
This
It's not unlike. Go ahead.
This hut has a steep thatched roof. A small wooden chest rests in the middle of the floor, and scattered around are 6 fraying silk cushions. The air in here carries a stench of decaying flesh. A lit brazier hangs from the rafter, providing the dwelling's only light.
Smells like it could have skins in here.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume they would. Maybe they weren't processed yet. I guess.
I mean,
Ugh.
I had the regretful experience of walking into her taxidermy room. It was awful.
To be fair, this doesn't smell too much different than the ship.
That's
Ships I've been
awful
on.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
Pim's gonna try the chest to see if it is also unlocked.
It's unlocked.
Opening it up, seeing if it's full of skins.
Right. No skins.
It's a mimic.
contains cookware, spices, old fish bones, and a mummified toad.
There's something
The
that
mummified
has skin on it.
toad concerns me the most.
Like, it's not like a bullywog, it's a toad.
No, it's like
Yeah.
a little bitty toad.
Okay.
It's like covered in wrappings.
Or it's a baby bullywog. You're not sure.
Yeah, I was just about to say that same
That just
thing.
got awful. No, if it's a baby bullywog, it would be a tadpole. So
That's true.
it's
Yeah.
an adult
True.
frog, so we're safe.
Oh, good.
Could be a taller. I don't know.
I'm gonna look around at all the cushions and just try to try and figure out what they're for.
Pim would also just do like a check to see if there's anything of note.
Yeah. Yeah, Kal'zi, they seem to be silk cushions that have seen better days.
What about these? Why have them all? Maybe this was like some sort of meditation chamber or ritual chamber.
Some kind of lounge or a communal area
Like a hookah bar for, I don't know.
for tiny wrapped toads.
It's the Jedi Council, but for the bullywogs.
The what?
Oh, that's something that you learned from being on a ship.
Okay.
Head back out and continue down the sidewalk.
I'd like to just make a further investigation of the chest. See if there are any like loose like hidden compartments within the chest itself.
You need investigation.
First roll of the day, 7. Nothing.
7. You try to check for hidden compartments, but it's a very simple chest. You don't see anything.
Yeah, that's true. I once heard about a rumor about a pirate who buried his treasure, but then buried 2/3 of his treasure, covered up the treasure, and then buried the the rest of his treasure, 1/3 of it, higher up as a decoy. I was thinking maybe that's what this chest was, but nope. It's just a flat chest.
I just want.
By the way, me as a player got another drink, so apologies if I am a little.
Mark's
talkative.
drunk.
Might be. I apologize.
How much rum did you put in your rum and coke?
I put some really tasty vodka in this next drink, but this will be the last drink I have.
2 shots. Glug, 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 glug. Right, the search continues for some skins.
I mean, should we talk to the tree to the north? It looked like there were some tiny people in the tree.
You feel alright? Aster puts his hand on Kal'zi's forehead. You alright?
I think I've the atmosphere has just been
Maybe the mushroom
inebriating.
wine.
Yes.
You had a single sip.
Yes, I know. That's way more than I'm used to.
It was quite strong.
Oh, you're such a lightweight. I had like a whole cake's worth, almost. Oh my
Yes,
god, am I an
but-
alcoholic?
Well, do you need alcohol right now?
No, but it would be nice.
That's the difference between an alcoholic and an alcohol addict.
A connoisseur.
But I do know what Kal'zi was talking about. It looked like there's a bunch of almost like pixies in the tree.
All right, let's go back, and then on the way we can ask Octavian what the hell that room is.
As a DM,
Fair
I have
enough.
no idea. It doesn't say. It's
Oh,
just,
never mind then. Just kidding.
it's just a dwelling.
That's Octavian's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so weird how kind of like specific it is for just being a dwelling.
Yeah. It was like a hooper room or something. They were all sipping frogs.
Like, and to just get to a DM perspective, like, it makes sense for like a dungeon where it's like this room could have been this thing, but this is a dwelling in a currently populated setting. You'd think they'd explain it a little more. We'll head up to the tree of what appears to be pixies.
Right. Several holes dot the trunk of a gnarled old tree that grows on the shore of the lake. The tree has lost all its bark, and a few withered leaves cling to the end of its twisted, knotted branches. On one end of a clothesline is tied to a high branch on the northwest side of the tree. Several old garments hang from the clothesline, at the other end, which disappears into the fog hovering over the lake. As you get closer, surprised these weren't hidden, but these little sprites pop their head out, and they go, it's like, well, look who we have here. Looks we got some visitors. We got some big folk. It's like, yeah, we got some stupid big folk stomping around with their big feet.
You wanted to come over here.
What you gonna do? You gonna get things in high places? It's like, yeah, it's a good one.
I kind of imagine that Pimner is just soaking this all in right now and enjoying it.
The one time it's called big, but then it's like trying to be derogatory. It just can't affect her.
Yeah, these little sprites are flying around. It's like, why don't you come over here? Show me how big you are.
You have wings. You can literally fly up as high as you can to put things up. That was a terrible insult.
I have to agree with that. Yes.
Well, hello. Thank you for calling me big. That doesn't happen very often. We're just looking around. Did you happen to see any animal skins anywhere? They were supposed to be delivered to the cottage in the center of the swamp.
I don't know nothing about that. But don't you think that lead just like your face?
Well, it wasn't very nice.
Not at all.
No, I think this tree's quite beautiful.
Don't you wanna just burn it down and stab it?
Don't you live in there?
I think
yeah.
What is happening right now?
You have some much bigger problems there.
Don't you want to take that big... She points to Karen. Don't you want to take that big axe of yours and just chop it down into little itty bitty pieces? You big blonde-haired stupid elf lady.
What did you say?
I really thought they said big ass. I'm not gonna lie.
That would have been...
Does Karen have a dump truck?
Does she have Pixar Mom?
Aster's just like leaning like...
It's undecided yet, but if we choose yes, absolutely.
Yes, solid.
So when she stormed over, her hips swing side to side, showing off her fat butt.
Dump truck ass.
Yeah.
Aster's just like, well.
It's like,
I have disadvantage on self-checks because my flapping of my ass cheeks.
The clap of my ass cheeks is too loud.
How did Theseus clearly sneak up on the Medusa? It's impossible. So it's very much like, what is your issue with this dang tree, and why do you have to call everyone around names with it, and also encourage people to set it ablaze? This doesn't make any sense, and I'm mostly confused, but also angry.
I just think it deserves a good chopping.
So can Karen like grab it by its like out of the air with its fist?
Oh, it's like way too high in the branches.
Okay. Then maybe like
hilarious.
It's just like right now she's like just so confused and frustrated about like why there's been no explanation given. Like why do you? It takes a while to do that. Why would anyone waste their time? Why would you put fire in a swamp? Everything's so damp it wouldn't burn. What is it?
They just start laughing.
Just like shaking, like vibrating.
I kind of step forward. Yeah, I kind of step forward a little bit because I got something I want to do. Karen, I can help. Look, you need to, and I kind of like whisper an incantation a little bit. Apologize, and I cast command on it.
So I would. Okay, this is gonna be funny because this is good.
On one of the fairies. or on the sprites?
The one that like Karen is addressing, I cast command on and basically say apologize. DC 13 Wisdom save.
Rolls a 9.
Ooh. Nice.
She goes, it's like, I was like, what a stupid dress to be wearing in a swamp. And then it's like, oh, I'm sorry, we just wanted old Barkless here to attack you. And hurt you.
Oh!
Oh!
But Karen was going to say if they just said, oh, I'm sorry, I would have been like, I don't want an apology, I want an explanation. So that was good that...
Yeah, so the other sprites like, oh, why did you tell him that for? We were gonna see, we're gonna see big Barkless,
That's so
make
fucked
mincemeat out
up.
of these people. It's like,
That is absolutely horrible. Kal'zi, thank you very much.
You are
Mostly
quite
made up
welcome.
from earlier.
So, is the tree, like, alive?
I step back from the tree.
Yeah,
Yes.
Aster wants to,
Pimner's
like...
also.
Yeah, Aster wants to, like, look around to see if the tree is, like...
so after he apologizes, does the spell end since he...
Correct. Yes,
he did the...
he does satisfy the
Okay.
conditions of the command spell.
Yeah, and he goes, shoot, that elf used magic on me, didn't he? He says, I'm sorry, what do you ask?
Is the
Was that
tree
Joey?
alive?
Go ahead.
He goes, like, yeah, it's a treant.
And you've just been sitting here insulting it right to its face. That's real fucking nice,
Well,
isn't it?
It's like, well, I guess the gig's up. We just think it's fun when it tries to grab people, and sometimes it breaks a bone in the process, and that's pretty neat.
How would you like to be grabbed and have your bones broken?
They all
Almost did it.
They all look at each other. It's like, nope, we're good.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I would love to with this big axe that you were talking about earlier.
Holy crap, it's a big axe. Oh
Oh no,
look
that
at-
axe is a
Look at the
cleaver.
axe on her.
I pipe up at this moment, and I don't want to interrupt, but I pipe up at this moment, and I look at the tree and be like, attack! I don't actually cast a spell, I just say that to see how they react.
Same hand gesture.
Yeah.
They laugh. It's like, big Barkless doesn't even know we're here, so he doesn't hurt us.
Alright, you got me there.
Okay, well, we're sorry. We'll leave you alone. I'm sorry.
Aster's gonna kneel next to the tree. Hey, Barkless. Can he talk?
Can you talk?
Hello? Hello?
Good question.
Wait, can't you talk to trees?
Yeah, try speaking
Yeah.
Sylvan.
He is! He's saying it in Sylvan!
I'll translate for Pimner.
You kind of hear like a moaning, like the inside's kind of like trying to create some sort of sound, but it's just like it's like when the trees talk in Lord of the Rings at the end, kind of like that. You just hear an old like raspy sound, but it doesn't really sound like anything. But you sense it's like some kind of recognition.
I hope you know that you've got a bunch of annoying, rude little blighters living in you. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that they're saying all these awful things about you. If I were you, I'd swat them out. Right clear out the swamp. Just a good whack of your branches. Anyway, you're a lovely tree for what it's worth.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I knew you'd appreciate that, Jess.
I'm gonna give a Aster will pat the tree.
But
And
you
then-
see like the branches just kind of give a little wiggle, just enough to disturb the sprites. They kind of settle back down, and he goes, "You know what? I think honestly he just likes the company, but maybe we're being mean to him a little
You
bit."
were being really mean. You were saying like he offers you a home, and you're saying all those terrible things about
Well, it's
him.
because we're comparing his ugliness to you.
But he's not
No,
ugly at all, and neither am I. I'm actually quite handsome, thank you very much.
Both he and Aster are blooming flowers.
Exactly. You really think so, Kal'zi?
Yeah, you have a flower on your head right there. It might have fallen on there now that I look at it, but...
Oh.
You realize
Aster
that
just
Kal'zi was being
immediately
literal
deflates.
and not metaphorical for a compliment.
He just deflates immediately.
Yeah,
Well,
pixies just go like, "It's okay, we'll be better behaved," and they just kind of fly into some of the holes in the tree. And
a quick question before you go: do any of you
What?
enjoy croquet?
For what?
Croquet.
Is that a thing?
Never mind. You obviously would hate it.
Sounds dumb. It sounds like a big person thing.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, you wouldn't know anything about it and just walk away.
What?
If you recall, I found a croquet set sized for pixies or
Oh,
stripes.
yes, that's right.
Couple games back.
That's
yeah.
right, that's right.
5 silver
call.
said they start the insults again in 5 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, they probably will.
Right.
I'm just gonna give Gray 5 silver for saying that. Literally, like I will give you 5 silver for being like, you got this.
let's just put a sign up there saying,
If I would have remembered that, I would have said, like, I was wondering where that was.
So honestly, Gray, literally take 5 silver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do it. Right.
Come on, I dare ya.
You want to take my money? Come on, do it. Come on.
Honestly, to be fair, Gray, I'm just trying to get rid of my change.
Yeah. It's gonna reveal the rest of the map, since once you cross
You-
the river, you can kind of see everything.
Yeah,
You've had
go for
enough
it.
change already.
Well, not quite.
I haven't changed.
So,
I haven't changed one bit.
Be the change.
yeah, be the
Be
change
the
you want to
change.
be.
I
Easily
am
change
44
myself.
I am 44 cents in loose coins.
All right. So as you cross this bridge here, you do see 2 more huts.
Oh God, are any of them Java? Sorry.
any of them pizza?
Ugh.
Now I'm hungry
Oh,
again.
look at this one.
Right. It is a hut very similar to the other one. See if it says anything.
They all just live in 3 houses? I guess some of them live in the palace.
Yep,
They're
and the
frogs. They
and the
probably
door is
live in the water.
closed.
I'll knock.
Are there any
Hello?
windows?
Anybody home?
Doesn't seem like it. Right.
Aster's knocking like smooth jazz on the door.
Rat-a-tat-tat.
So you think you hear some like murmurings inside, and it kind of stops when the door knocks, and a croaky voice goes, "What's the note under the door?"
I don't have a note.
Aster.
What?
The
Oh,
in the
oh!
wineskin.
Oh, shit! I don't know why I keep... Oh, okay. Aster just, like, plops, like, slab squats, and he's, like, trying to shove it underneath the door.
You mean the little piece of paper from the goblet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, payoff.
Things someone else remembered, because I sure didn't.
Oh wait, it's crinkled. Now I've got to straighten it out before it'll fit. I spent it again.
They push it back out if it doesn't.
Like, no, I mean the other note. It's like, shoot.
Oh, right, my phone number. Sorry.
Yeah. Call me.
My sending stone number 7.
Yeah, I'll shove the note under the door.
And after a moment, you hear like something being lifted, like the door is being barred, and the door does open. You see several bullywugs inside. Standing just inside the door is a jittery bullywug with a spear, and behind this guard is a wooden crate with hunting gear piled atop it. Huddled in the back of the hut are 4 more bullywugs. tension hangs heavy in the air as one of the huddled bullywugs signals you to enter and join in the conversation.
Hello.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll leave
You
this
found
to
the
you
French
guys.
resistance. I'm sorry, you found the French resistance.
Yeah, I was supposed
Like,
to
come
say,
on. And you're like,
oh,
hello.
this must be the one that you found. I'm the court. I can't do a French accent like other Jess can. But,
Doing a French accent's not that hard, especially when they're
Yeah.
You can speak French, Jess.
Do the Québécois.
Do the Québécois with the moutarde.
I got the moutarde on my favorite t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's easy to go into a French accent. All you'd have to do is just go ho ho ho.
Why, why, why?
Croak, croak, croak.
We all sound like Maurice
I get
Chevalier.
it. They're French because they're frogs.
I just-
Oh my god.
Well, it doesn't say they're French.
Yeah.
But they
No,
are,
but I like
but
it.
they are
I
doing
like
some
it.
sort of resistance, it looks like.
Yeah. I apologize
decided
for
they are.
derailing everything.
No,
with
no,
that.
you're good. You're good. Yeah, no,
I was
Aster's
saying
just
if you
straight
didn't.
up like. Yeah, Aster's just straight up. Hello.
Yeah, so it's like, well, come in, come in. It's actually a woman. Say, come in, come in. Make sure you're not seen.
Don't worry, there's literally nobody here.
Oh, wait, it's not a woman, because they're all kings. Never mind. Yeah, I said it.
Pim also goes inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Karen.
Close the door.
Gray, you want to keep guard?
Yeah, I'll leave this one to you guys.
So,
Just listen at the door.
you're the one that Loop must have chosen here, and he points to one of the bullywogs, kind of waves. Hello.
Oh, you're the one that gave me the cup. I was very confused.
And you're here to partake in the revolution. For I, Ilg, Baron of Mugsup, shall usurp the king, the idiot king. And they all start cheering. Yeah.
That was a lot of information to process in about 30 seconds.
That's why you're here. You read the note, didn't you?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. We're looking for animal skins, and we just happened to come across this area. We're totally here. Viva la resistance, whatever.
Vive la resistance, yes.
Yeah.
I knew they were the right ones.
To be fair to that king, he's a bit of a flighty.
He's not good at his job. As another royal, I can see that he just doesn't have what it takes.
Oh, the Witchlight monarch. So you would know. Someone in high standing like yourself.
Seconded.
King Gullop the Ninth.
Gray's just got his hands cupped around his mouth, poking through the door. All you see are his lips. Seconded.
I rolled to the other side of the room.
You have like minor illusion or whatever one that you can do, like you can throw your voice with.
So
That'd be perfect.
upon hearing about the hunting skins, like one of the bullywugs does say, it's like kind of points to the box of hunting gear, saying it's like, yeah, we know we have to take this to Bavlorna, but the resistance takes precedent.
Oh, so those are actually what we're looking for. Convenient that worked out, eh?
It's like, yeah, after the uprising, we'll get right on that.
Okay.
Oh,
You're just in time to hear our master plan.
The whole thing.
May I ask, what do you not like about the current leadership that you would want to usurp them in what I assume is a violent coup?
Oh, minimal violence, only the king. And he points, and he kind of like steps out of the way, and he's like, there's like a thin layer of mud on the floor. He's like drawn a picture, a very crude picture of King Gullop the 19th. And it has an eye poking out of, it has a dagger poking out one of his eyes. He goes,
And like an X on the other.
yeah, next he's like, let's just say there's going to be a little accident, and old Kingy is going to lose an eye.
I mean, that's not going to take him away from leadership unless he has. Are you required to have proper depth perception to be the leader of this area? I'm not quite sure how.
Oh, and then we'll add his head to the pikes of the bridge.
You're just going to kill him and usurp him?
They says it's tradition. Happens like every other week around here. But Ilg here, Baron of Mugstup, will be the best king downfall ever had, and won't have to put up with that rambling lunatic who currently holds the court. And they all cheer, yeah, revolution, revolution.
But this time
wait.
it'll work.
This time it'll be
Yes.
good.
May I just point out, what are you going to do in 2 weeks from now?
Then I'm going to make sure everyone likes me, and I'm not a jerk.
Okay, that is valid.
Saying, well,
But-
I'm glad you're all on board, and you're going to help us with our plan.
Can we like a second? Can we just have a second to talk as a group, like the 4 or 5 of us? Just
I only see 4 of you.
The other one's outside.
It's standing guard.
The lookout.
Yeah.
Good idea. Lookouts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
smart.
okay, we'll be right. Give us like a minute. We'll be right back. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You can.
Oh,
like,
I can't
keep
let
an
you.
eye
I
out.
can't let you leave without supervision. I can't let you leave. I mean, you go too much.
I mean, we're just gonna be outside the door.
Okay.
Yeah,
No.
you'll literally be able to hear us talking.
Right.
Can
Leave the
I
door
ju-
open if you want.
Give
Yeah.
me either a group persuasion or deception.
Can I just say I absolutely love the fact that the revolution takes place about 5 feet away from the main guard tower.
Yeah, right. Like,
I'm getting extreme water people planet vibes from that Futurama episode.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like, this is exactly what that is.
Thank God for Karen.
Karen can be extremely persuasive.
There's
That's like her.
one more Pimner. Give you either persuasion or deception.
Pimner, make a break. Yes!
Oh hell
Yeah.
yeah, nice.
But is it enough?
They say, okay, as long as you stay where we can see you.
Literally right out the door. Don't worry.
Leave the mail slot open. You'll see us.
We'll keep the door ajar.
Okay. All right. What did
What
we
the
just
fuck?
walk into?
What
Yeah. No,
the fuck
right.
was that?
It's just one more thing on our list to do, because no one here is very capable.
I was not expecting to have to like be part of a.
I mean, we
like-
kind of should have expected that when we found the note in the wineskin.
Yeah, but like, it's the Feywild. How seriously do you take anything here?
We're also probably talking in Sylvan.
They would understand us.
Oh, crap. Do Bullywog understand Sylvan? Do I know that? I
All
probably
Fae
do.
do.
That's just fair.
I
Okay.
do. Yeah.
Do,
No,
You're
no,
just
we're
leaving
talking
it
in-
to him.
Does
No, no,
anybody,
no. I
does
speak
anybody else
Elvish.
speak Primordial?
I mean, they
Or
won't.
Elvish?
You go far away, they'll be able to hear you.
Yeah.
I speak Halfling and Elvish.
I got Elvish.
I got giant.
It's not gonna help us.
Wait a second. That's amazing. That is amazing.
I got Elvish, Gnomish, and Sylvan.
Okay.
Okay, well, anyway,
I guess we're speaking in common.
yeah.
I speak Loxodon.
Yeah. So what the fuck are we gonna do?
Well,
So, if we
did you see the animal skins? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Karen.
I was gonna say, what happens if we just do we have to do the king? Okay, I just gotta look at the map again. Do we go buy the king when we return the
Mhm.
skins? Is it something we could just do on the way there, where we usurp the king?
We are
could just,
docked
like,
on
Right?
this side. Of,
You-
yeah, we are docked on this side of the river, lake, whatnot.
So we don't have
even
to go near them.
cross. Yes.
We could also just say that, like, we just happened to be there as we were coming back. Like, oh, wrong place, you know.
Yeah, and then get them. And then 2 birds, 1 stone. Basically, I'm totally fine to do it. That's what I'm getting at. If we get a job done,
yeah.
I don't like this one that they have now, and I think potentially there's a chance for a better one.
I'm saying we go the old Schultz route on this, where we see nothing. We just need to get the. We need to convince them to give us the skins. Like maybe that's part of the usurping plan. We just tell them that.
You could suggest that maybe if we give them to Bavlorna, she will approve their revolution.
That's true.
Oh.
That's a good idea, Gray.
Because I don't really want to work with them.
No, I
I
understand. No. I mean, you also don't want to work with the people that they would be going against as well, because they are also frogs.
I can tolerate you guys, and that's about it.
I will promise
nice of you, Gray.
Yes. None of us will polymorph into a frog for you.
Thank you.
So how about this? We tell them somehow that the skins are part of the way that we can start the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just get the skins.
You could say, like, oh, we'll meet you there. Wink, wink.
I think that they're giving it to Bavlorna and to win over the side would be really good. And then we'll say that we can come back and let them know if we get approval or not, if Bavlorna's on our side.
We can say that we've got a mole in the Bavlorna's cottage.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
Is that what those little things are?
What little things or what?
The little tiny...
Ugh. Could be moles, whatever the heck they are.
No, I meant that as a metaphor for somebody who was undercover but infiltrating the. You know what? Never mind.
Why didn't you just say a spy or something?
The bowl is more of subterfuge, where the spy is sort of just trying to gather information and not necessarily infiltrating. You know what? Never mind.
All right, so
we're gonna say that we need the skins for the plan to work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Gain more people on our side. That way we can strike.
Since it sounds like Aster is going to lead this conversation, I will cast guidance on her.
Him. Aster.
I know what I said.
I just want to, since it's been a little bit, since Karen is the Witchlight monarch.
Oh yeah.
You
can activate your wings to get flight speed for a short time, but also gain advantage on persuasion checks.
Oh shit! Ooh. Never mind.
Never mind. I will. Sorry, Aster. I break concentration on that, and I.
But you can only do it 3 times.
Yeah, I remember. I do have +5 persuasion as a person.
That's pretty. Yeah. And I will guidance Karen.
So what? Okay, what does guidance do? Sorry.
I'm not saying like you have to do that, but I just want to remind you since it's been a little bit.
No, thank you. That was good.
I didn't even know about that other thing. Yeah. So the guidance gives you. It lasts for a minute. The next skill check that you do, you get a 1d4. You get to add a 1d4 to it. So you get to roll a 1d4.
Okay. So Karen will go in, and then I'll just do this just because I haven't done it yet. I'm going to use one of the things.
Okay.
So I have 2 left, and I'm just going to go in, like, very confidently, just, like, walk in and be like, I have a plan. No, all of you, shut up.
Yeah, so you walk in, the butterfly wings just sprout from you. You hover, like, a couple of inches off the floor and just glide in, and all the woollywogs are like, ooh.
Aster just gets, like, a face full of wing, and he's like,
dump truck, but, So Karen goes in and is like, here's the plan. What we're going to do is we're going to take those skins you see, take them, go back to Bavlorna, whatever her name is, it doesn't matter. Then we can get her potentially on our side, so that way when we overthrow it, we have so much power, there's no chance of us losing. At all.
Like, well, one of the reasons we want to kill the king is because a little bit too buddy-buddy with Bavlorna.
Well, if you become buddy-buddy with Bavlorna, then that way you can control what she's doing. Do you see what I'm getting at here? There's no way anything can go wrong.
Yeah, they are like, you are really smart, Gil. It's like, yeah, I am really smart.
Okay, I am going to
So
do
yes, roll me a persuasion.
Okay.
With advantage.
I can't wait to see this number.
I hope it's good, because, like,
Plus
crap.
you get your
3 and 2.
and you get your
13, and then plus an additional, another D4.
Yeah, you get a 1d4.
We'll see how long
Providing it's been under a minute.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how long this lasts. I forget.
And then a plus an additional 5, so it's 20. Dirty
Oh,
20.
nice.
Wow, okay.
Dirty 20.
Oh, so you rolled a...
So I got 13, and then plus 2 from...
Oh, no, the 5 already got added.
Oh, is that
yeah,
from...
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just be at 15.
That's my persuade. No, that's my persuade. But then the 5 from the monarch thing.
Oh, yeah.
So that
No.
would make it 20.
Oh, no, the mark sees you advantage.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you got a
Oh,
total
so
of
sorry.
15.
Yeah.
Total 15.
But let me just double check to make sure.
No, I
Pretty
gain
good roll.
I gain a plus 5 bonus check. Oh, sorry. I guess that's a different thing. Charm of the monarch.
Well, that's why I'm reminding myself.
Walking speed gain plus 5 bonus to all
Double
charisma.
checking.
Oh, you are right, actually.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's not an advantage. It's plus 5.
I think it actually equals out to the same thing because that's -5 there.
Yeah, so you get wings, 5 speed. Okay, so it lasts for 1 hour.
Okay.
Loses charm 3 times. Okay, so you get plus 5, which luckily was I always do the roll to the left, so that was a 15. So you have natural 20. He goes like, well, what do you need skins for? But it's like, it's not important what they're used for. The only thing that matters is the hag might leave us alone if their plan works. Yeah. Okay. You take the skins, talk to the old hag, and we'll go visit the king and an accident may occur. They'll go, yeah, an accident. Now I shall be known as King Illig the First. They all clap. Yay!
Excellent. Just hand those right over. We'll get to it, you'll get to it, and we could just be on our way.
Hey, Glory, hand him the thing. One of the bullywugs goes up and it's like, picks up the crate full of skins. Another one helps him. Hands them to you, Karen, who easily picks it up.
Yeah, just like, yoink.
Say, I don't know what she does with these, but none of my business.
I never actually thought about that, but we'll just, if whatever makes her happy.
It was for the taxidermy stuff.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
just a reminder.
Horrific reminder.
I like the idea that Karen is also somewhat of a used car salesman.
Yeah, I know it's in like an Avon salesman.
Yeah.
Selling you Avon, yeah.
The Avon salesman that kicks your door in.
Yeah.
The modern day equivalent of the Tupperware sales party.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now this is what you're going to buy.
Yes.
Okay, so you right, so you take the crate full of animal skins, and as you leave the cottage, you're like, okay, onward to revolution, and they all exit the cottage one by one, and they start they all hop in the water and start to swim across the lake with their spears and all that stuff, and they go into the fog.
Well, don't know how that's gonna turn out. Let's get going.
Did they not realize we were supposed to wait until after we base? Oh, no, never mind.
Doesn't matter. I've got the skins.
Do we want? I'm kind of like walking backwards, following Carrie, and it's like, well, there's that other No, you're right. We should continue.
The other cottage? Do you think there'd be more skins in there? Was there something else we had to pick up while we're out doing?
No, it was just the skins. You're probably right. We probably don't need to know. It's probably just some sort of... It's probably the fishing cottage that has a bunch of red herring in
It's
it.
probably just a whimsical side quest. Something to add to the plot, but, adds to the character of the adventure.
Probably a magic item in there.
How
Staff
many
of the
side
Magi.
quests did we pick up already? We still have to get his head. We need to get,
No, that guy's heart. Wait.
yeah. And then
They're probably all body parts are probably kept in that creepy unlocked with no keyhole chest in the middle of the thing.
That maybe Karen could just smash open.
Yeah, right next to the portal to Zither.
Yes.
Are you heading back to the cottage?
Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
just heading back to the thing in the middle. I assume.
Yeah, fast travel.
Oh, good. We're back in the the moonshine room, and Vansil's still here.
Like, just Mark, you know you're goofing.
I'm being jovial.
All right, so you find yourself at the bottom level. Did you hide that book like behind the dummies?
yeah,
We picked it up.
Yeah,
we
we've already
picked
picked
it up.
it
I
up.
believe last game to return.
Yeah.
I think Pimner has it.
yeah.
Or Karen.
Does
No, Karen just has skins.
Aster has like a thing on their face, an icon? Are they drunk? Is that what that is?
Oh, she had like concentration or something during the battle.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like all the fumes from the alcohol.
Yeah, I'm like, not just drunk.
Alright, you gotta head
Do
straight.
we want to check out that closed room just in case?
Yes.
Okay.
Where is it's upstairs? I forget the
Yes.
layout. I haven't been here in a bit.
I think it was near the stairwell.
Yeah, it's just upstairs, just after the stairwell. I look at the dummies as we go up, and I'll be like, I can't believe we killed that thing, the pet.
It's fine.
Oh, you're talking about the room next to the mirror?
Yeah, the one up here at the
Okay.
end of the stall. Yeah,
Yeah, you can go that way.
it's the only room that I think we haven't seen.
And the one to the right, but I don't think we'd be allowed to see that one.
That's true. Yeah, that could be the bedroom.
I feel like when we like floated in on our boat, the body of the pet was just like beside
Yeah.
the cottage.
I take the oar and I try and like make it sink.
Like hitting it.
Oh,
Don't
he's
use
already dead.
we don't bring this up at all.
No,
Stop bringing it up then.
We rode by it. Never mind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Pimner, are you trying to do your thing?
I turned to Aster and be like, "No, remember when we came in here? There was the
Shh,
thing."
he puts his fingers on his lips. Shh.
Quiet now.
Well, remember when the thing had food?
Darling, shut your fucking mouth.
This is a dusty, uncluttered room. Several shadow boxes hang on the wall on either side of a modest bed with moldering linens. Most of the shadow boxes contain mummified pixies pinned to boards like a collection of butterflies.
Shadow box. Look out, monks.
The glass on one of the shadow boxes has been broken and its contents are missing.
Ooh. Can
So,
we
No
can we
skulls
do
or hearts.
Yeah. Can you do a perception or investigation check to see if I can determine whether it was broken from the outside or the inside, if that's even possible?
You can take a quick look on it. It's just like the glass is shattered.
Can't tell. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, what if something broke out from this?
Yeah, I'd fall to the ground either way.
I feel like
Right. But
I feel like this wouldn't be so disturbing if we didn't just talk to a bunch of sprites.
yeah, they tried to get us to a tree to break our arms.
Possibly even murder us.
Yeah, possibly.
So they're just mummified, like it's just full of corpses.
Yeah, it's probably. I didn't read this before I came in. It's kind of disturbing.
Yeah.
It's like someone's insect collection, but it's little fairies.
pretty messed up. Is there anything under the bed?
There's actually a book about that.
Oh.
There is a book of like pressed flowers of fairies.
Yeah, I think I've seen something like that. Take a look under the bed.
Yes.
You see a bunch of just like stuff that's been shoved under there, like old food and plates.
Oh.
But nothing of note.
Probably get them a sink or a dishwasher or something. I don't know.
A dish what?
Somebody who washes dishes.
Oh. Isn't there a thing? Prestidige.
Right, I've prestidigitation. I've heard of that from the wizarding world, but I don't know. I think they enjoy the mold.
I think I saw somebody at one of the places in the circus when their kid got all covered in ice cream and cotton candy. They cleaned them up with that.
I guess that is very useful for cleaning up dirty kids. Right, Karen?
What? Children?
Alright,
Well,
let's drop off
let's
a
report.
box of skins and a book.
I can't resist the urge to get shrunken down for a minute again, so I go the... Yeah.
Yeah, you come through this way. One thing you notice is that the Darkling is no longer here.
I guess that makes sense.
You do not immediately see, even though their tokens are here, you don't immediately see the Lornlings.
I'll take a very, very like detailed look about the surroundings, if I may.
Okay.
I'll give you a performance check, or not performance perception. 8. I don't see crap. I am rolling like crap.
How would you roll? I don't see it here.
I'm sorry, an 8.
8.
I'm surprised I didn't get piped through.
It was such a bad roll that it ended up ignoring it.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Just you're actually looking around the room.
What do I notice? Oh God, they have stairs. We haven't gone up the stairs either. That's another place we haven't gone.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, what do you roll?
8.
Okay. You do take a look at like the cabinet you crawled under. And you notice that it is a potion cabinet. And you look around the room, and you don't see the Lornlings anywhere, and you see Bavlorna just kind of sitting on her love seat, like mouth agape. It's like just wheezing.
Are her eyes open?
Her eyes are open, but they're just kind of like moving forward, like just staring forward, and occasionally like one will dart in a random direction.
They're googly eyes.
Yeah. And like
as
like,
everybody else enters the room, as I'm assuming I'm the only one who went this way just for Giggly's reasons, I'm going to actually make my way to the other door.
As you're tiny?
As I'm tiny, if I can make it across there in time.
Give me a stealth check.
Ooh. I have disadvantage. Oh, hey, the 15 was nice, but my disadvantage was a 2.
Why do you have disadvantage?
I am wearing heavier armor. What armor do I have? Chainmail. I have chainmail on.
It's like ching, 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 ching.
Yeah. But it's high pitched because I'm tiny.
I think you're the only person in the party actually wearing armor.
Yeah.
What'd you roll?
2.
Okay. A master probably has like light armor or medium armor, leather armor. I hope. So as you start like ching 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 ching, this little itty bitty thing starts walk across the room, and like one of her eyes like starts to look at you, and as you get close to the door, like you just start getting taller and taller, and like when you reach the door, you're like full size. He goes, and like Lorna goes, "You did the tiny thing again, didn't you?"
I turn around and I go, I kind of like being small every so often. Yes.
Well, you're free to look at my taxidermy birds if you wish.
Oh, is that what's in the room behind me?
Yes, quite the passion of mine. But I do hope that you came with what I asked.
Well, yes, I just took the long way around, as I assume Gray, Pimner, Aster, and or Karen enter the room.
Normally, like with a door.
Yeah.
Yes, Miss Lorna, here are your skins. And just drop them at her feet.
Gray, I want you to make a dexterity check. With disadvantage as you enter the doorway.
14.
Alright, one of the Lornlings was hiding above the door that you entered. And it attempts to grab your hat as you as you go under.
Oh.
Let's see what he rolls. Beats it. So as you walk under this door, it's like a and it reaches down. It was kind of like hanging on to the woodwork at the top, and it grabs your wide brim hat, and throws it to the side. And describe to me. Yeah, describe to me what they see.
They see a very pale looking face, obviously covered with skin tone makeup to try to cover up a very pale complexion, almost white. Has blue hair, and a kind of tattoo or mascara or something surrounding completely opal white eyes, as well as almost a horns that are sticking out, are coming out from the sides of their head, almost in a crown-like shape.
What? Holy shit! What?
Lorna just starts cackling. I knew it!
Gray is immediately trying to cover up their face.
Aster's just like in awe.
Also surprised. Pim is very surprised.
Karen doesn't know what's going on.
Lorna
Give that back!
Lorna actually stands up, her bones creaking, her skin like flakes are coming off because she hasn't had a bath in so long, saying, I knew I recognized your smell. You're the one I found that day. And Sabrina took you away from me.
What the fuck?
What?
You were to be one of my lordlings. But she stole you away.
Oh, thank the gods she did that. So
That's not happening.
But I still smell myself on you.
Yeah.
Aster retches.
You still may have devoted yourself to her. But you can't rid yourself of me. The curse I placed upon you. I thought your face was so pretty. the way it changed from this to that. I thought I could use it for myself. But past, no sense crying over spoiled milk, they say. She snaps a finger, and the lordling hands you your hat back.
I just snatch it away from him, immediately cover up the head again.
Karen inappropriately is going to say, well, now that all that's over with, here's the skins, and what's the deal?
Pim, in an attempt to kind of like distract from everyone looking at Gray, because Gray obviously seems very uncomfortable, it's just like, and I have the book here, and I'm waving the book around wildly. So then everyone looks at the book.
Yeah. She's like, what? Oh, right. The things I asked you to do. She, looks at the crate, opens it up, starts to go through it, say, yeah, some good ones here. They'll make fine creatures. You see here.
Is there anywhere you want me to put it?
Just put it in the corner. My lordlings will take care of it.
I mean, if she's already holding it, why not just have her carry it to the room that you need it in?
Creatures? You're going to turn the skins into creatures?
Oh, I like to mix them up.
You just mean taxidermied stuffed creatures, right?
Yes, my passion, taxidermy.
Oh, okay.
I'm quite good at it.
And I point at the door behind me after the whole Gray fiasco. I can take a look at the birds?
Well, if you wish.
Oh, can I go too? I'd really love to.
But I'd rather continue. See if you've done my chores.
Oh,
it'd be
that's
rude
right.
to leave in the middle of a conversation.
I apologize. I thought we had went from the easiest to the hardest, but we're going from the hardest to the easiest.
Then did you retrieve my book?
Still waving it around.
Sorry, I didn't see you. You're so small.
Would you guess that she was an elf? Would you guess that?
I mean, with those ears, you can't tell. She reaches down, like way down, picks up the book, licks a finger as she opens it, but it's like her tongue is dry, so it doesn't actually do anything. And she starts to flip through the pages.
You just hear it like sandpaper.
Sandpaper, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like when a cat licks it.
Yeah.
He goes, names seem to be in order. I'm glad I don't need to add yours. She goes to the end. Yeah, King Gullop the 19th. He's a troublesome one.
Sure would be a shame if something happened to him, wouldn't it?
Be no love lost, if you ask me.
Really?
She slams the book.
Speaks so highly of you.
She slams the book shut. And you unclogged my bath?
I did.
Yes, there was a cube of jelly in the middle of the drain. We demarmalated the situation.
We should have told you before we left, so you could have had a bath by the time we came back.
Oh, that would have been lovely.
Well,
You can wait.
now you know.
Now you have my undivided attention. She sits back down.
Great. Can we go look in your taxidermy room?
Oh, if you wish.
Oh, thanks so much.
And upstairs afterwards, is there more taxidermies up there?
Oh. Upstairs where as I live.
Oh.
Rather keep it private.
Oh, of course, we'd hate to.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, I assume we're guests here and we're not allowed to every place in your home.
Oh, the rules say everywhere. It's not locked. You're free to visit.
Is the upstairs locked?
She says no.
Oh, okay. Sounds good then.
I
I
thought-
open up the door behind me before she can respond.
This door's not locked. Just so you know, I would like to complete the chapter tonight, so if you don't mind going a little bit later.
That's fine. Yeah.
I'm good.
Just gonna quickly take the dogs out for a pee, and then we can.
Okay, and do you want to take another break, or?
It's just like 5 to like
Yeah,
no
take
more
a
than 10
break,
minutes
little-
for sure.
Okay.
Haven't
Yeah.
you toilet
5,
trained your
10,
dogs
50.
yet?
Well, like not in the house, your apartment. Okay, we'll be back.
I'll put Gray's.
Oh,
Why
that
did-
was so
Why did Gray get 2? He got 2 arts, and we all got 1.
Bun paid for 3, that's why.
Oh, I paid for 2. Oh, the other one is similar.
Yeah,
It's so good.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
good.
there's another one, just without the horns.
You got emo Gray. You without the hat is Gray with an E.
Oh yeah, it's just funny. Now you know my terrible secret. I'm a
your long hair makes it look like you've got like big earrings that just would solidify the emo look.
So I was this close to that happening the last game. If you remember, Bev Lorna was like
Right.
paying attention to him, but then I think Karen or someone like distracted her to, you know, be
Yeah.
back on subject.
I was waiting for an opportune moment to like talk to Gray about that. But obviously we're just walking around and looking at things. If we had a moment to ourselves, I probably would have like brought that up and like what was going on with you and the Lordlings. Also, why are you a Fae? Because I picked that up from the
I really look forward to that conversation when it happens.
Yeah, so I mean, you probably could have told if you looked at the campaign sheet, but yeah, but he is a hexblood.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was also it. Also, very much helped prevent you from cheating to find out what their original race was, which is changeling.
Yeah, which was my thought. Because I looked up what was not human or not humanoid, and what had shape-shifting abilities innate, and it was changeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically after that pinged me on the game where I did the Detect Good and Evil, like the next day or two, Bun came up to me and was like, "I'm interested to see what you think what my race is," and I'm like, "Well, now I got to figure this out."
Yeah. No, I just about every single episode I have left multiple hints on either what they are or who
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
And I just loved like Kal'zi was like, you know, a centaur, had that taken away.
Yeah. My other half. And one that I don't think anybody noticed because everybody was talking over top of each other, but when we were in front of the Frog King and they were trying to drag me over to make me part of their royal court, Gray ended up mentioning or said, "No, I'm already part of one. Don't worry about me."
Oh, and like they insisted, like the Frog King was insisting, like take off the hat because he couldn't be knighted.
Yeah.
Because
I
it's too
admittedly
wide.
didn't even hear that, but there were a
Yeah.
lot of people talking.
Yeah,
Like it's quite obvious that the hat was hiding things based on just how much you were doing that, but it's like none of us were characters none of us were characters that would just like go up to you and be like, "I want to know what this is." We're all like, "All right, you got your privacy, whatever."
Well, maybe Karen. But...
When he
Maybe
stared,
Karen, but she didn't have a motivation for it.
when
Yeah.
stared down the Cyclops. You know, made sure you weren't like facing him.
Oh yeah.
And obviously, like the ping, like the detect good and evil thing was the big one.
Yeah. The hiding was very obvious. It was very obviously trying to keep us. That was pointed out very easily. It's the matter of like what that meant. It's like, oh, is he just dark and mysterious, or does he have a bigger secret, or do any of us care to try and figure out that? Because we have no reason to figure out what Gray is.
Yeah.
Beyond just the little bits that we get.
Think back earlier to this session for the payment of stuff.
Oh.
Pigment.
Yeah, somebody
that,
likes color.
Well, that was clever because since your eyes don't have any color.
Yeah.
It was a good way
I had nothing to pay with.
Well, like it technically took it, but it was the same color.
Yeah. Yeah, that worked out really well. Was it a right? Is the white marble written in, or did you improvise that just so it worked really well with Gray?
No, I realize changeling eyes are perfectly white. There was no color in there to begin with.
So they're like tiefling. Okay.
Yeah, it's just lack of color instead of so ended up realizing I realized that wait a minute I don't have anything for them to take. So
oh no, the marble
obviously
was in there. The marble was going to change the color of the eye when it when they took
a happy
it.
Coincidence.
Yeah,
that was going to be a major plot point like 3 chapters down the line, and now it's gone.
Yeah. when you need a marble the color of someone's eyes, you're gonna. All right. Slivers of light enter through cracks in the shutters that cover 3 tall windows. The light reveals the shape of several pedestals. On each one rests an object with a patchwork cloth draped over it. Withering ferns and crumbling clay pots give the room a earthy smell. The floor is covered in a layer of straw.
Huh. I will go up to one of the taxidermed. I don't know if that's the proper word, but taxidermy made.
Taxidermied is the word.
Taxidermied.
Yeah, like,
Thank you.
technically this is a covered cage, but when you.
Oh, okay.
But when you take the patchwork cloth off it, like the taxidermy bird just starts squawking like, and you notice that it's 2 different species. Like the head's one species and the body's another.
I quickly cover it back and I turn to Aster and I'm like, one of those was an ostrich and the other was a penguin. I mean, I'm glad they took 2 flightless birds, but oh my god.
Why are they alive?
Yeah, yeah.
Wait.
I'm not.
I want to. Oh, what if there's a goat?
I mean, they're birds, but
no, but. Oh, they're all
right.
birds. Are they all birds?
I don't know. You're right.
Oh, they are all birds. Okay.
Yep, and you look at the 2 windows, and written above one is the word thither, and above the other one is the word yawn.
Huh.
That's weird. Oh, like that's where they're from.
Oh, yeah. Are the rest of them have like similar sort of names, words?
No, it's above the windows. They see here.
Oh, I see.
They see right here and here.
Or
I go to the 3rd window and I just look out that.
It just leads outside.
No balcony or anything?
Nope.
Why would they have a balcony on a windowed thing? There's no door to go into it. Are they big windows or are they like small windows? Like just house windows?
It says 3 tall windows.
Okay, so they're like big windows.
Yeah.
Mansion windows.
Do you think maybe that's where they come in from?
I mean, I kind of think that's where they would be let out from.
Like, oh, you think she sends the birds over to her sisters?
Oh, yeah, what if they're, like, carrier pigeons, but, like, carrier penguin ostriches? Well, that wouldn't make sense, because those are both flightless birds, but they are in a swamp, and the penguins can swim, and I'm just kind of, like, thinking about this logically, this whole, like to myself.
This is not exactly what I had in mind.
To be fair, I'm not really surprised.
Well, no, neither am I, but, like, this is fucked up even for her, you know? Like,
I mean, a little
because
bit.
usually taxidermy is like everything's dead, not
undead.
living. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know she said earlier that like she doesn't bring them to life, but apparently she does.
She either doesn't bring them to life, or she is. She either brings them to life, or she's
like
attaching
animated.
two animals together.
Yeah.
It's not really
I lift up the cloth of the one that I'm in front of right now. Is it like a different bird?
Oh yeah, they're all different.
Okay.
It's still alive.
Yeah, it's been squawking and growling.
I think that one was half Kenku and half Aarakocra. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, so I'm almost like even more terrified to look in her bedroom. Like now that I've seen this, like, ouch. Who knows if she's... I'm sorry, I was cleaning my glasses and I pinched.
You okay in there? You hear a voice. You hear a voice in the other room.
Yeah.
The longer you dawdle, the longer I have to wait for my bath.
I kind of shout out and be like, "Don't wait on us. You can take your bath at any time. We'll leave via the top level."
As a player, we're here to ask her about the things that we've lost.
Yes, that's why you're here.
Yeah.
I'm
specific people.
It is Karen.
Gray.
Karen and Gray also senses his lost something that he's lost here too.
Bevlama wasn't the one that took my stuff, right?
No.
Correct, yeah.
Saying, well, maybe it doesn't concern them, and she turns to Karen and Gray.
Yeah.
Now that you've done my chores, which I would have done, but I just feel so withered lately. You have my undivided attention.
Why? Thank you, Bavlorna. Well, I was thinking there's something that...
You still have your wings, too, and, like, she's, like, very pretty.
It's been an hour.
Yeah. No, you still have them.
Yeah.
So, yes, what would you like to ask?
I would love it if there was this little thing that I lost and I, got it back. I believe potentially you were knew something of it. Do you know what I'm speaking about?
She's like not moving, but her eye is twitching just a little bit. And then, like, she snaps back to attention. Ah, yes, I remember. One of my little lornlings caught you sneaking into the carnival without a ticket. And per our agreement, I took something of yours.
So, yes, that's why I'm here. And I was wondering if there's something I need to get that back that wouldn't involve just giving something else away that's so permanent. Like, we just done a bunch of chores for you. That bath really needed to be done, and I did a lot of that.
So you wish to have returned that of what was lost?
If you don't mind.
And you, Gray, was it? You wish to have what was taken from you?
Very much so, but I'd also be happy to give back what you gave me. And I jabs a finger at the top of their head.
I believe it's a little bit of a package deal. You get your powers back, then mine will fade away. But since you are really no use to me anymore, I suppose that wouldn't be so bad. As long... It's like, she says, I, in fact, am still in possession of your lost items, and I will return them to you if you do something for me.
Something more than we already have?
Oh, what you did was just the right to speak to me. If you want something else, then require another favor, another deal.
Gray is just not happy and just annoyed at this person now that they've revealed them.
Oh,
and like that.
But don't worry. Won't require anything from yourselves this time. Requires something from one of my sisters. And, she says, my older sister, Skabatha, lives in Pimner, in the Loom Lurch. She has pictures of all my siblings, portraits. It's me, Bavlorna, the youngest one, Endilin, and that accursed Tasha. And of course, one of herself. Want you to steal the portrait of dear old Skabatha and return it to me. And
Isn't that against your rules?
If you do, we're family. We all have ownership over Redmare. So it's not stealing.
It's not stealing, it's theft.
Slavery. It's quite different. I have no intention of... but she says, give me this picture of Skabat that she covets so dearly. And I shall return that was lost.
I glances over at Karen and for her thoughts on it.
Well, if that's what we need to do, I guess there's no convincing you otherwise.
Afraid not.
We would need a way to get there.
You can have use of one of my balloons that the bullywugs tend to. All you need is a guide.
Just a second. La la la, random roll. I'll go with this one.
Ouch. Ow.
No, that might possibly be. A guide. I don't suppose you have around here a what was the person's head again?
It was a oh, sorry. Go ahead.
A stag head.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a heart.
That's someone else.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I don't suppose you have a stag's head around here.
She goes, "Oh, you mean from dear little Clapperclaw? Yes, I freed him of his head when he tried to escape. As punishment."
From what I can tell, they seem a rather useful guide. If you need us to have one to retrieve this, then
He can see perfectly fine without the skull. Why does he need it?
Because his current one keeps falling off.
How embarrassing.
Hard to guide when you keep losing your head.
If it gives me the portrait, consider it a gift. No strings attached. She pulls up her robe just a little bit. Her dress,
no.
and one of the and a little Lornling kind of pops out.
Oh, that's even
It's
worse.
like hiding under there. It's like,
I bet you weren't expecting this.
It's like, you head upstairs and retrieve the skull from my hoard. And the little Lornling's like, it's like, yes, of course, yes. And scurries up the stairs. While we're waiting, if you have any questions about thither.
Pim, who has been here the whole time, pipes up.
Oh yeah, you're still here.
Yeah.
So small.
Hi. I also have ridiculous stealth.
She
So-
probably stole like 3 things in the meantime.
If I could only. But anyways, just like, is it as swampy as here? Will we need a boat?
Oh, I do love the swamp, but no. It is a forest, quite dry. She says, my dear sister Gabatha lives in Loomlurch, giant tree deep in the forest of thither.
Do you think that she'll be as hospitable as you were to let us into her homestead?
Oh, all 3 of us adhere to the rules of hospitality, and the 3 rules. As long as you don't pose a threat, any of my sisters will talk to you.
Thank you.
All right.
Now, at the heart of Loomlurch, portraits of the sisters. You want the ugly one. That will be Scabbeth.
Biting tongue.
Are they very big portraits?
It's like like a portrait size. I don't know.
It's probably like medieval times. You get like a really nice painting
Yeah.
done, commissioned, and it's a very large canvas.
Yeah, it's only 60 inches wide.
Think of it, it's like you have a vertical oriented 4K TV.
Yeah. So she's like, let's see if I have some left in me. And she starts to hack, like, and then just the right amount of spittle managed to come out of her mouth. It's like, there we go. She holds it out.
4.5 ounces.
Let's shake on it.
Oh.
Kal'zi, are you down in there?
Kal'zi?
Can't hear you.
It's
by choice.
They're too busy.
really goes to
Only Pimner and Karen. So it kind of holds it out to Karen. It's like, well, since it's your item, seal the deal.
You're the queen.
My queen?
Her eyes are so wide, and her mouth is just like. It's like if it could be a gape, but the smell and the things are it's like keeping it shut.
Is her teeth gritting so hard you can visibly see the teeth chipping off?
Yeah, and like hearing it.
Saying, I won't remain moist for long. Better hurry.
Gray pulls out a handkerchief and hands it to her for after.
So it's like very like shaky, and like going towards it, like she's very stiff as a board and like not kind of looking, and then grabs reluctantly, like kind of puts it close to the hand, from which I assume Lorna like grabs it.
Yeah, about to say, like you put her hands in hers, but then she shakes her other hand and like clasps it, and she like kind of pulls you towards her, and she goes, "Then the seal is done, and you have 8 days to retrieve the portrait, or else, well, I don't envy you if you don't come back with what I want." And she lets you go. And around this time, the Lornling comes back down the stairs holding a large stag skull. And she's like, give this back to dear old Clapper Claw. And
As soon as she let go, prestidigitation.
yeah.
Like an actor.
And like Karen and Gray, like you both feel this like something, like the sensation comes over you, like you have just been like, cursed by something.
What did you do?
8 days. Starting now.
At that point, Kal'zi like bursts out of the room and be like, "Oh, that was the worst 7 minutes ever."
Wasn't that bad?
Did you see the flocks of the feathers and everything? Oh.
Now remember, Skabatha's portrait, leave the one of myself, of Endelyn and Tasha. But give me that old hag Skabatha so I can look at her and snarl and spit on it and curse at it at my leisure. Now I think it's time for my bath. She gets up.
I kind of lean into Aster just before you continue. I was like, what did we miss?
I don't actually know.
Pim pops up in between them again.
A lot.
We're leaving.
Yeah, she
Okay,
starts to scuttle down towards towards the downstairs.
We'll leave first. We'll leave first. Let's go.
Especially before the bath.
Yeah.
Before the bath. Let's go.
I guess this leads downwards. Yeah, she was down here. As you're leaving, you see her like tiptoe into the pool. It's like, just the right temperature. And she kind of settles down. And like, I just imagine like just all this gunk and stuff just like comes off her. It's like, I haven't had a bath in weeks.
Imagine the jacuzzi scene from the first Austin Powers movie where the femme fatales. Yeah, use your imagination.
I think I've blocked that out of my memory.
Alright, so you make your way downwards back to Downfall.
Back where the revolution's happening.
Yeah.
I wonder how that's going.
Yeah, do you want to go check?
Really quick.
I mean, I'm curious, but I mean, this might be a good way to leave without being noticed.
We do have to go and get the guide, though, and he's pretty much right beside them.
Yeah, that's true.
And the balloon.
That's true.
Well,
We have 2 guides at this point, so let's go get Clapperclaw.
So as you pass by,
We'll just like take the boat up to the bridge rather than just like taking the long way.
what I was gonna do is this flavor. Like, you cross by the court, and you do see the decapitated corpse of King Gullop the First.
Oh no!
With a dagger. You see his head nearby with a dagger sticking out of his eye.
Oh,
And they're
no.
in the process. This is gross, sorry, but in the process
No,
of
go for it.
putting the head on a pike and like, which is still talking. Like, Gullop's head is like, it's like, you traitor, I'll get you for this. May your reign be full of hardships and gross boils and such things. And it's like, shut up, you old coot. And they put King Gullop's head on the spike, and all the bullywugs gather around and goes, it's like a King Gullop the 19th is dead. All hail King Illing the First.
No, this isn't graphic. This is just like the opening to the Haunted Mansion.
And
The ride or the movie?
Yes.
and like he thanks you and gives you the honorary title each of the Duke of Monk Stump, saying, I have no need for my old title. You may have it.
Thank you. We'll just be going over here on the bridge now.
Yeah, so with like did the plan work with the skins?
Yes.
She did say that she did not mind if this happened. The king.
I knew she liked me better.
Yeah, she
Hated him more.
yeah. Net gain on your part, honestly. Yes.
Right. Clapperclaw is quite happy to get his skull head back.
Can you describe the situation of him replacing his current head with the skull in detail, please?
Yes. He takes his lobster claws, gets a hold of the gourd, tries to pull it up, you hear this like rattling inside, and then with a poop, the plop, the gourd comes off. He just tosses it aside on the bridge. He starts feeling around for the skull. He's like, here it is. He picks it up, and he puts it atop his head.
Upside down.
Somehow. Just roll with it.
Other way.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like, sorry, and he turns around. It's like, this is so much better. Don't you agree, guys? And all the little frog heads like, yes, it's quite dashing. Oh, yes, it's quite good. And King Gullop goes, I hate it! I hate it! Give me back my body! Ah! It's like, a promise is a promise. And you say, Bavlorna just giving you one of her balloons?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know if it was renting or loaning or giving, but either way, yes.
Probably just loading, but Good, that means we don't have to steal it. The last person who stole a balloon ended up in jail. It's not good.
We met them.
Yeah, in fact, we might take them with us, just to have 2 navigators.
Oh. All you need is me. I can show you the way.
I mean...
Can you pilot an airship, though? Or a balloon?
I can show you how to do it. Okay.
No, I mean, the more the merrier, right?
Alright, what's the secret word?
Snicklefritz.
Yeah, you remembered.
Oh, no. Here's the point. Here's the thing, Joey. I didn't make up that word. That word I am pulling from somewhere.
Okay.
All words
I know
are
the
made up.
word. Both of those, Snicklefritz and Equipoise. I know both of those words.
Okay, Morgort, upon hearing the secret phrase, does agree to fly the balloon to thither, saying, after that, though, I'm gonna go search for my friend. Hope you understand.
I was thinking we could probably drop you off on the way, since we do have Clapperclaw with us as well.
Well, I mean, that means one of you has to fly it to thither.
Well, we have Clapperclaw and...
or you're offering me a ride.
Yes, I mean, in the meantime, yeah, why not?
Oh, then I will teach you along the way. I'm much in your debt. This will be how I repay you. Freeing me from that prison. Right, so you go back to the map. So you take one of the hot air balloons. Morgott is kind of showing you how it all works as you fly down to the slanty tower.
This is much easier than in the non-Feywild on the material plane, where you're just at the mercy of the wind. There's no directions that you can really take with hot air balloons. I didn't imagine that a simple rudder would be all you needed to pick a direction with a hot air balloon flight.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But down below you see the Brigand's Tollway, the maze of docks where you fought Adgon. You catch a glimpse of the Wandering Inn trudging through the swamp.
I wonder where it is.
Yep.
And the satyr
Where it's going.
Yeah.
The satyr is laying on top, sunbathing.
You get pretty close to Temley Hill. Get close enough where Jingle Jangle, the goblin, gives you a wave from outside the door as you pass by. And you reach the slanty tower where you drop Morgott off, and do you stay as she pays
I
her
mean,
respect?
If she'd like to get a ride to where she needs to go next, I'm okay with it. Everybody else?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, she goes, my place is here and hither. I have no reason to travel beyond it.
Well, let us at least take you beyond the horrible snakes that are in the corner.
You heard her.
Oh, good idea.
Oh, okay.
But she takes the body and takes it to a nearby pool of muck. It sinks to the bottom. And
She puts it under a bunch of monk characters that we've all had. That
Yeah.
you know.
And just
muck.
Tony Shalhoub sits on top of it.
Yeah, I get it.
And she gives a bow as the hot air balloon rises upwards. And Clapperclaw goes, okay, we need to head into the mist. Yes, follow my directions and we'll end up in thither.
Does she just say north?
She goes that way. But you go. But as you start to pass over the Queen's Way here, they go, saying, yep, that roadway used to lead right to the Palace of Heart Desires. but it's not in a very good state anymore. And
It looks like that's barely what we can see at the north of the map.
I was gonna say, it's like if you look really, you squint, you might be able to catch a glimpse. He goes, that's where Zablina used to reside. Maybe still does. I'm not really sure.
I'm gonna say that Kal'zi is trying to stay at the very center of the basket as much as possible, as the heights are not very comfortable for him.
Yep.
Aster notices Kal'zi's on comfort, and he just
discomfort.
Swoops in, that's what I said, discomfort, and just swoops in right next to him. It's okay.
Constantly kneeling to prevent from being able to see over top the basket.
Yeah, I'm below the basket line.
He just cradles him. It's okay.
No, we are really high up. Really high up.
It's okay. Close your eyes and put your head on my chest. You won't see
what?
anything.
No, I don't think that would be good, because what if the strings just aren't strong enough and they all detach and the basket goes falling?
It'll happen whether you're standing up or looking down or not anyway. So
yeah,
you'll be comfortable. Right?
It'll be happening if you're in my chest or not.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Aster will let you fall on them.
Of course, I'll save you, protect you with my life.
Yeah.
Can you cast Featherfall?
I've got really strong legs that will prevent us from dying.
Insight check.
He's lying straight through his teeth. I don't even have to insight.
19.
All right.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna stay right here. It's gonna be fine. We're really high up.
As you have your little talk, you get closer and closer to the fog that separates hither from thither. And Clapperclaw is like, "Okay, here we go." As the fog,
The balloon makes a sudden drop.
As the fog engulfs you, and that's where we're gonna end for today. But you all get a long rest. You all gain a level.
Woo!
Oh wow! Yay!
Level up!
Right. So you will get Pizza's level if you want to.
What level are we now? 4, right?
4.
I think.
Woohoo! Oh yeah.
Feats.
So you get a feat if you like, or just a skill increase. So talk to me about that.
Why?
Ability score improvement.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, if you have questions.
I can become a chef.
And I can. Are we technically we're having a long rest? So can I also replace the spells I prepared?
Yeah.
Okay.
But let me show you this map here.
Ooh, where are we entering? What feat do I want? I haven't even thought about this. Like,
Yeah,
I'm usually just such like a character, like a mechanical build person. I build a character based on mechanics, and we're in a more roleplay or dialogue heavy situation. I'm like, what do I do? I haven't thought this out.
I don't think I ever actually plan in advance for a character. I just base it off of who they are and stuff.
I will, based on, depending on the character, like, sometimes I'll be like, this is the build I'm going for. Like, when I did my Bardal Master, which was the Swords Bard Battle Master Fighter, like, I needed to do a couple things to make that work.
Yeah, or Dartigan.
Or Dartigan, which was just, I just want to be able to throw 3 darts at a round.
Yeah, he had a theme.
Yes. Oh, I should... You know what? I might go with, like, Fey Touched.
I was looking at Crusher.
Yeah.
that is Karen.
Well, if you need
Wait,
it,
Mark,
I
can learn Featherfall, so technically I do.
And if you need help with that Fey touching,
choose a spell. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Fate Touch just because of the character makes the most sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with.
That's a feat.
Yeah.
That's a feat, yeah. I think it's one of the newer ones from Tasha's.
Okay.
But it's basically my wisdom score increased by 1, and I learned Misty Step and a first level spell of my choice that is a divination or enchantment school.
Okay.
And I also can cast them once without expending a spell slot.
So I know
I do learn them as a spell slot.
Not that matters too much, but I know I moved the balloon over to the left, but it's actually all the way to the right. Is where you
the map goes across because we live in the Feywild is a torus.
Yeah.
It is a donut shape, so whenever we reach the left side of the map, we go to the right side of the map. Whenever we reach the north, we go to the south. That's me complaining about physics and map looping.
No, just think of it like an open world game. We decided to go left, but all the plot was to the right, so you've just moved everything from the right to the left.
Oh, this is going to be very similar. That's interesting.
Oh no, did D&D Beyond just...
Oh no, I moved you to a mostly black screen. But
but
here's the map of
tower.
Here's the map of Prismere, and so here's
There's an abstract art of Sonic the Hedgehog in the south.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my god,
I see it down there.
Yeah. No, D&D Beyond, please.
Oh, I see it, yeah.
This is interesting. I'm interested to see what's going on because everything seems the same, but we are in Hither. So that's going to be interesting.
Well, you are in Hither, but this is the big map. But, when you explore Thither, I'll show you Thither.
I see what happened. I was zoomed in a bit. So yeah, we are still seeing Hither, but we are heading to Tither.
Yep.
And there are numbers at the bottom of this map, which is also scary.
It's like how many miles?
Oh, okay.
Or a countdown.
Yeah.
But it's not the final countdown.
So I kind of have no idea what happens in the next chapter, so I have to read that.
Surprise for everyone.
Yep. I know a little bit. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank
That was
you.
good.
Hey,
That was good, Joey.
Thanks.
Yeah, I had a lot of good moments.
Yeah, thanks for staying late.
I really look forward to the next session if we end up having a talk.
We're actually not late. It's 11:43 Eastern time, so
That's
it's
true.
like we're
Oh, yeah, but
usually
like,
still
over the 3 hour mark is what I mean.
Oh yeah, that's true.